Chief, can you hear me?
Peace, peace, peace.
All right. How you doing
Chief of
today?
Paradise, brother. How you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm great, bro. So you go by West Side or Cooley, brother? What's what you
I,
like?
I go by Cool It.
Cooley.
That's right.
Appreciate you, brother. Hey, thank you for having me on your platform, brother. We are definitely appreciative of everybody that allows us to come on their platform and disseminate some of this information. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say all praises to the ancestors, and I want to say shout out to all the ancestors that woke up and all of y'all. So I want to say shout out to y'all, man. And I hope these vibrations wake up some more people. So that's what we on. But so thank you for having me. Peace to you.
Yeah, much respect for coming on here. And yes, the vibrations, it's happening because, it's, I tell people all the time that if you're playing these games and talking this agent provocateur stuff, this black stuff or whatever, you cannot play with the ancestors. They're actually here. I know it sounds weird or crazy to some of y'all, but the movement, the ancestors, uh, our culture, our identity is here and it's here to stay. And this is why I'm not gonna get too much into this. But this is why they're putting all these distractors out in the news, especially that big thing that they're talking about all the time. And again, a lot of us are waking up to who we are, what's owed to us, our land, our identity. And we know who stole our identity. We know it was the Asians. We know it was the Caucasian. We know it was the African. And I say this all the time. These were the triple threat right here to get you off your land, to keep you confused, keep you deaf, dumb, and blind. So with that being said, Chief, when we look at our current existence of our mindset of this so-called black community, um, how did we get here? Was it made by our own choice? Was it made by these Nazi Zionists or the $5 pretendians? How did we get to this place in this psychosis?
Um, well, we talk about this all the time as far as being conscious, right? To have a knowledge of self. Um, when you think about it, man, it's called colonization and everything that comes with colonization, right? That's the religious education, religion. You can kind of mix those together because education is religion, right? So we know that those are the main tools or weapons that they use against us for colonization, right? Now, it means something because if you allow somebody to educate you or to tell you who you are and name you and all these different things, right? They control you, they own you. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why we're in this position. And listen, it's recent history. It's not like it's happened thousands of years ago, like they like to push stuff back in the past. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter what the visuals, every time that you close your eyes, the words matter, right? You know what I'm saying?
That's
so
right.
If somebody is teaching you something and they can put an image in your head, they're controlling your reality. So I say this all the time. If you can't control your dreams, you're never gonna be able to control your reality. You know what I mean? So you can't our imaginations have been colonized, and I think that's the main problem. That our imagination has been colonized. First, our minds have been enslaved more than anything. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the main thing that we gotta tackle, bro. Just the mental slavery and the mental challenges that they have put forth. So I think that's the main thing. And I know that words matter. So when we talk about the word spells that have been cast against us, these are the things that we're talking about. So yeah, that's the main thing. The psychological damage that has happened is far worse than any other damage that has happened to us. So I think that's where we at first.
Got it. And have you always been in the knowledge of, what your bloodline is, what your genealogy was, or did it just come about in the last, 15, 10 years? In other words, some people have been brainwashed by this Afrocentric, saw nigger TV type, rhetoric and all that. Is this something you've always known about?
Well, my background from Mississippi. So I'm a 70s baby, so I grew up knowing who I was. But once I went to college, they started to indoctrinate me and teach me away from what my ancestors were telling me. And I would come on and be like, hey, grandma, we Indians. Like, I mean, we Africans. Like, we ain't no damn Africans. You told me you were. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the main thing. I think the 90s was tough for us, a lot of us, because we had just turned to Africans, about 10 years before, late 80s going into the 90s. They they started transferring our names. So by the time I got to go to college in the 90s, you know what I'm saying, this is what they're pushing: Black power, Black this, Black that, right? And I didn't know at the time that the CIA was pushing Black studies on us, and then morphed into African studies. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that then, because that information I wasn't privy to that information at the time. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of went away from that for a little while. Went away from America. I didn't even want to be American, bro. I just want to be African. It was like African American. I was like, just drop the American, right? But guess what? I wasn't tapped into my homeland. I wasn't tapped into my ancestral. I didn't even tap into it spiritually, because think about it. Even when you're praying to Mecca, you're praying to Israel, you're praying to England, you're to Africa, and you're not tapped into your ancestral land. So yeah, I've always been tapped in, bro. For the most part, you know what I'm saying, and basically just had to go through all the dogmas, the religions, and all these other things to get to where I'm at right now, but to come back home, basically. So I've been here teaching this information for 15, 20 years, but I'm an OG in this, so to speak. You know what I mean? I've been doing this for a while.
That's right. That's right. Because it's amazing. Like you just said, we had turned African in the 90s. They were pushing that Afrocentric thing. And, I didn't have an issue with people with, so-called Black college thing. I like that movement. But I remember everybody with the dashiki and all this type of thing, and go back to Africa, and we're Africa this, Africa that. It was just like you said, it was a CIA, Nazi Zionist movement to get you out of your land, get you off your lineage, so they can't have to, pay you money, or, you should. Basically, what I'm saying is, and some people have different opinions about the whole money thing and all that. And like you said earlier, if we are going to get money, we didn't really say it like this, but it's under the guidelines of being African in terms of reparations. That's why people, when they talk about and say, I'm Black and I want to be, I want to get my slave money without, under that, it puts you back in the Afrocentric African lineage thing. So you got to be careful on that. And that's why these people talk about reparations. They talk about descendant of slavery. And I think that's some of the most stupidest shit ever. When I hear people talk about ADOS and foundational and what else do they say? Black first and all this kind of shit. And again, it's language that's a dead talk. It doesn't hold up nowhere. And it just confuses the people. We have to, in 2021, we got to say who we are, what we be. And that's it. I mean, it's plain and simple. And if people don't want to get with that, well, I'll say they're working with these other people. Whoever these other people may be. But I always appreciate people like yourself that have studied this genealogy, have studied this, the culture and stuff like that. So, and there's a video you have too here. I'm not going to play it right now, but it's an anthropology video. And the way, you talked about that and how it was broken down and stuff, it's just critical, because even with anthropology, we have different bones than Africans. And I say this a lot too. Do you want to expound on that?
Well, they call it craniology or craniometry, right? Study of the skeleton. And what archaeologists and paleontologists say, that this is the most reliable. This is the way they identify human beings around the world. But here's the thing, right? So when you're finding human beings that say that they found at a level when they're digging down, say 15,000, 20,000 years ago, right? Obviously they're comparing all the bones. It's okay, all these bones measurements are the same size, right? But you can also, by the measurements of the bones, you can tell how old something a person is, right? You can tell if they're a baby, right? If they're male, female, based off of the bones. Men and women have different bone structures. Okay, so that's one thing that they can tell by the bone structure, right? Age, sex, right? And what they're doing is they're comparing those old bones and those measurements to living people in our bones and our measurements. But what they're doing is they're attaching it to what we call the theory of evolution and the outer Africa hypothesis, which is eugenic, racist, degenerate talk by these people, right? what we're saying is that anything that's attached to the out of Africa hypotheses, which is not a fact, no matter how you try to tell you, a hypothesis is an educated, sometimes not even educated guess. These things have agendas that are attached to the theory of evolution, which is Darwinism, social Darwinism, which is eugenic, which is racist, which is just the source of these people's power. Because we believe it through the science as well as through the religious orders that we are less than, that we're not the evolved man, that we're closer to the monkey, that we're cursed, that we allow the recessive minority to run this planet. That's the problem. Just keeping it simple. You know what I'm saying? So when we're talking about these bones, they're measuring these old bones. Like we talk about Naya, we talk about Luzia, right? They go back 12, 13,000 years, right? To have a little boy that's older than them, and they know he's a little boy, about 1 to 2 years old, because of the size of his bones. But they also know he's a Negro. They found him in Montana, and they call him the little Negro boy. Okay, this is what he is, the Anzic boy. He's a Negro, right? So now these are the oldest bones. But guess what? According to science, 8,000 years ago, there's only Negroes on the whole goddamn planet. So even when they talk about people coming across a Bering Strait myth, right? They know that when they say keywords like Siberian, cold, you think of light-skinned people, right? Skin tone has nothing to do with craniometry, the measurements of bones. So with these measurements of bones, right, what they're doing is they're putting people that didn't exist into time periods. That's what Mongolians about. That's what Mongoloid is about. That's what Australoid is about. That's what Negro is about. That's what Caucasoid is about. But guess what they're doing? They're writing Caucasoid, Negroids, and Mongoloids into your mind frame, into time periods when they absolutely did not exist. Okay? So you got a lot of these people around here thinking that they've been here for a long periods of time, which they might have. They might have their bloodline, but they mixed with the Europeans who came here who created this fake-ass Ice Age story, I like to say. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all seen that cartoon with Ice Age, all the little animals and shit, teeth and all these people. That's what this is. It's all fantasy island, science fiction, mumbo jumbo that keeps them in power, though. So we believe in the whole out of Africa hypotheses and the theory of evolution. That's interesting, right? You got a lot of Pan-Africans or Black Power Rangers that do not. They understand what social Darwinism is. They understand what Darwinism is, right? And they reject it. Period. But I do not. I don't reject. They reject the monkey theory, right? But then they turn around and they believe in the out of Africa hypotheses as being a fact. You cannot evolve in Africa and walk out of China or walk out of, you cannot. These two things work together. You cannot have one without the other. You can't have it without Adam and Eve. You cannot have it without all the other things. So they intertwine Adam and Eve, right? About the biblical stuff, the religious stuff, which is funded by the same people who are funding the educational orders, right? And this is all Masonic. And you talk about this stuff, the people that they put in place, the puppets. The reason why they're not effective doing anything, even with the resources that we have now, is because they literally are handpicked puppets. So that's why they're not gonna do anything that's gonna move the needle for our people, y'all. So that's what we're dealing with, brother. So we're talking about just the difference between us and Africans, right? You could just look at them right now today and say, okay, those are we could tell just by observation, right? And that's what science is, just observing something and being able to continue to keep having the same measurements, so to speak, right? So if these Negroes of this time period match Negroes of this time period, then you can say, hey, okay, these are Negroes. But then you can also tell the difference between, obviously, our craniometry and brothers and sisters who would come from the continent of Africa. So that's kind of why I was saying that, with just the observations, the measurements, just looking at their foreheads, looking at our foreheads, looking at cheekbones, looking at stuff, whatever. You can say these are different people. So that's why I would say on that part right there, brother.
Wow. Yeah, that's real talk. That's yeah. I say all the time, we are different. I'm not disrespecting nobody. I'm not trying to say, negative things about whatever, but we are different people, and that's okay. And just like Chief said here, he talked about the boy in the state of Montana and the bones they found there. And I tell people all the time, these bones in America predate those bones in Africa. So we always talk
Right.
about, out of Africa and all this kind of stuff and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, it don't, if everything came out of Africa, you're telling me, and this is what never made no sense to me at all too. You're telling me basically we're all brothers and sisters. Shouldn't we be all what's the word I'm looking for? Um what's the word? When you have sex with your brother and sister, shouldn't we all just be messed up? I'm just it never made any sense to me when they said that. I mean, the plants came out of Africa, the fish, the dog. I mean, it doesn't make no sense. But then you study anthropology, and then you study what the geologists say about the land and all this kind of stuff. It doesn't add up. So it's an agenda. It's a Nazi Zionist CIA or a Nazi Zionist agenda to get y'all off your land, keep y'all crazy. And it's crazy. When I think about it, everybody and mama's coming over here. Nobody's going to China. Nobody's going to Africa. Nobody's going to Russia. Everybody and mama wants to come here because this is the capital of the world. It's the energy here. It's the capital. It's everything here. And they always said too, Africa's got the most resources and all that. And when you study who's got the most resources, it's not Africa.
I mean, bro, that conversation is just so stupid that it's insane. They don't even have banking systems. They still bank through the Europeans. First off, second off, right? Listen, we're talking about 100 years ago. The world was an agricultural planet. It wasn't industrialized yet, correct? Right.
Right.
So,
right.
With that being said, right. If everything was an agricultural society, so then land and agriculture is very important. When we understand about the almanac and all these different things coming, this science, just agriculture, the science of agriculture is ancient in America. When we had industrial size that fed millions of people of agriculture and things, you know what I'm saying? Which now the new technology called LiDAR that they have, which is basically, a X-ray taking pictures of the ground, of the ocean, of mountains, of trees and stuff like that or whatever, and they could see what was under there. You know what I'm saying? So they could see these things like agriculture with irrigation and things like that or whatever that our ancestors were doing here. Now the interesting thing is, right, you need food to move, right? You need food to live.
Right.
But if you building all the shit that was built here in America, right? All the pyramids, all the temples, all the roads, all the things that was built here in America, right? It takes food, bro. Okay? And governance and order and love. We had to be some peaceful people to do this. And we was fighting. We were just like everybody else, fighting and not building anything, not having any or agriculture like that. So they say out of the 640 food groups in Africa, 600 of them originate in America.
Wow.
Okay. But how they do though, they'll tell us a 1978 story that's talking about 1800 story, right? About some Africans or some people coming back from Liberia, right? To come to America to work.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And then they'll tell you a story like, oh, this okra. Okra is another name in Africa, in the African language, right? So right there, just because it has a African name, right? Not okra itself, just them having a name for okra, they will swap it out and say, oh, that okra is an African food that they brought to America. False.
Right.
Right? They say Egyptian cotton, right?
Right.
Well, that's interesting. Egypt comes, right? You think about Egypt, you're like, wait a minute, it's dirt up here. It's like, why is cotton being grown in Egypt, right? Well, Egypt is just a descriptive term of dark people.
Right.
It is not a place in Africa.
Right.
Okay. So when they're talking about Egyptian cotton, they're just talking about nigger cotton, right? Egyptian means dark. Now, which is interesting, you got Deontay Wilder fighting Tyson Fury tonight, right?
Oh.
Now, yeah. We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
So Deontay Wilder goes by the Bronze Bomber, right?
Right.
He's from Tuscaloosa. He's an American.
That's right.
Okay. The other guy, Tyson Fury, is from Ireland or some shit, right?
Right. UK.
Okay. right? He's not American. He's
Right.
Irish or Dublin, whatever.
Right.
He's from there,
Right.
right? But he goes by the Gypsy King,
Right.
right? Gypsy is short for Egyptian. I'm gonna say it again so everybody can understand. You got hear people talking about, oh, these gypsies did this now. There's always these people. They even steal your identity when it suits them, okay? Because the Europeans, the pale people here, are rooting for the Conor McGregors. They're rooting for the Tyson Furies against the Bronze Bomber because they are on code and we're not. See what I'm saying?
That's right.
And I heard him saying he's a Gypsy King last night. And I'm like, Gypsy King? He's the Dark King? The Gypsy is Egyptian for sure.
Right.
It's the descriptive term of dark people. Now, I understand, like, once again, they could take whatever energy that they want and utilize it against us. And that's what Tyson Fury is using right now against Deontay Wilder. And everybody else is watching. He's taking that energy by calling himself the Gypsy King. He's not Gypsy. He's not an Egyptian. Egyptian would be a descriptive term of dark people. Once again, nobody would call themselves gypsies, but people that would be trying to steal a culture or steal something, or control the currency of it, control the narrative of it, and that's what they're doing. So he's going by the Gypsy King, but if you guys could just look at this guy, he's a pale skin, so that would be the opposite of Egyptian or Gypsy.
Right.
So I just wanted to point that out. So these words and these word magic and spells are what they're using against us. So I just wanted to point that out, brother.
Right. Yeah, I'm this was going to be one of my questions too. But since we're on it, let's talk about it. And I made a video, about Deontay Wilder. I've been following his career for a long time, and I used to, box and all that myself. And I'm a huge boxing fan and a huge mixed martial arts fan. However, and this is no disrespect to Deontay Wilder, but when he was calling on those Afrocentric and African ancestors, that second fight, and he had the one dude come in the ring talking about, I'm black. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm black. I said he's gonna lose the fight. And, and I know it sounds funny to people and all that, but Tyson Fury used gypsy witchcraft on him. And this is what these gypsies do. They take our power. They're vampires. They take our power. They use it against us. And that's what he did. And that's how we want to fight. Yes, he cheated the gloves. Did he poison his water? All that. Yes, he did. But all I'm saying is on a spiritual war level, that's how he beat Deontay Wilder. So I feel like Wilder is coming more into his own, more to of his roots, and he's getting away from that shit. So I do think he's going to win this fight this time. He did win the first fight too, but that second fight he lost because he disrespected his ancestors and he was talking about his African shit, and that's why he lost the fight. I'm sorry, I know it sounds wild to y'all, whatever, but I mean you can't call on Satan and expect good things to happen to you. I'm gonna be real with you.
That's facts, brother. That's super fact. That's super fact. I mean, it gets deeper than that, though. When we talk about just Deontay Wilder not tapping into Tuscaloosa, not tapping into just homeland. That's just the micro of what we all are doing. Like I explained earlier, so I could have been building in America, years ago, but I'm spending all my spiritual capital on a prayer rug, praying to Mecca.
Right.
Dreaming of an African Christmas and shit, you know what I'm saying? And all these extra things that these niggas think that we supposed to be doing, bro, is kunta, bro. Like nobody, what's so interesting, right? That, the leading slave catcher, Dr. Henry Louis Gates Jr., right? He's the leading slave catcher, right?
Shit.
This motherfucker, though, but to his credit, he tries to throw the truth out there as much as he can. And I get it. I understand they don't want to get their funding taken, right, by these people, right? So, but he said, doing this Finding Your Roots series and all the stuff, that it was damn impossible through his studies to trace people back to slavery or Africa.
Right.
I think that's interesting that all the resources that they have, and they're tracing people back. So a lot of people that we all have the same story, right? And everybody's telling us we from Africa, but we can't trace ourselves back to Africa, and we don't have no oral traditions. Niggas ain't got no nicknames. Uh, like you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And just to top it off, for as this situation, for as Africans, us being African, right? We can go to our ancestors here in the ground here. We can identify with people, right, that are here and the things that they left. The mounds predate pyramids, and these are just their terms. We didn't call it a mound, we didn't call it a pyramid, but it's just their terms, right? But what we're using, we have older stuff here,
right,
that predates that. See what I'm saying? So every time they say that, they be like, "Oh, we found Egyptian stuff in America." Well, it's older here. It's more here. Why are you pushing it to 1948 in North Africa, right? Where nobody on the continent of Africa practiced Kemetic nothing. They don't know nothing about that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So once again, you know that the colonizer created that over there. Created the story to take us off our land, to make us dream of, once again, a Kemetic Christmas and all this dumb shit over there. When we have Kemet here, we have dark soil here, dark culture here. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people like to say black. Once again, black is a system. We're gonna have to get into that too. But yeah, that's bro, it's just so it's so tiresome, man. Like, but I ain't gonna lie, man, I was so tired when I was African though. It was so much it was so exhausting being African, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know, it was just so exhausting, man. All that energy to put towards something that, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, just when you look at it, you don't have to go to Africa to interact with Africans. They right here on this continent, and they don't interact with us here. They, by the fact, they even do the same thing that the Europeans do. Stay away from them. Don't marry them. Don't make love to them. Don't do all these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
That's right.
So the same colonization mindset everybody has, the Arabs, the Asians, the Germans, the Poles, everybody, the Jews, everybody has this same mindset to take our shit, take our resources. Well, what they did, they set up this caste system, right? They set up this school system. They set up, we call it Indian school. They set up the indoctrination through the religious orders, and all this stuff runs through religion, right? If I can get you spiritually, I mean, I own you, right?
That's right.
That's the main weapon that they're using, colonization. And so this is what we're saying. So how do you beat this? Well, first off, you got to start changing words, right?
Right.
Start calling yourself things that give you power. We say Aboriginal. Get a little more sexy with it, Atanchans. But we, you know, right now, Aboriginals. And some people get kind of confused, so we say the first Americans. So we created the first American Declaration of Reclamation of our natural rights and our identity. It's important to know who you are before you can do anything in life. Well, we've been taxed out of existence. They taxed us and regulated our existence. So these are the things when we talk about solutions, knowing who you are and creating and creating and stepping into your proper self, right, gives us social, political, economic empowerment. And this is what we're doing. So I don't understand why anybody that looks like us would be offended by us saying that we're from here and that we were here first. And that's what the movie's about. I don't know if we can get into the trailer.
Yes, I hear it. I'm right here.
Yes, I don't know if we can get into the trailer.
Okay, let me see. 1 second here.
Share it.
All right, 1 second. Let's see here. I got to play it on mine because I did put it on my channel here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, but okay. In the meantime, yeah, that's damn. You put that so greatly because it is a spiritual thing they're doing. I mean, it's like it's almost beyond spelling or voodoo or witchcraft or Wicca. You know, it's beyond. It's so deep that it's like I'm just not trying to sound too crazy. It's so deep where it's like people are literally walking zombies around here, especially ones still saying they're African and Afro. That's what I'm saying. Like I used to, when I had one of my old Instagrams, I used to just send all kind of shit to Solid Nigger TV and Mother No Light and Young Fagro because they're aggravating. And now that they've been exposed for who they really are finally, and then some people can see what the fuck they've been doing, now they jump in shit. But it's like back in 2000, I don't know, 16, 15, 14, I mean, they were just at the height of their bullshit and people went with it. And I'm like, you got a dude that looks like a lesbian. You got a dude that's an African Nigerian oil head looking person. And you got Side Nigger TV who's a Caribbean or whatever the hell he is. And I don't know how people were that stupid to fall for that shit. I really don't. And I mean, you know, if I offend somebody, so be it, cool. But I that shit was dumb back then. And you see what the fuck they've been doing the whole time. So if you still supporting that shit, talking about you black or the Side Nigger TV and all that, y'all some damn idiots. Y'all fools.
I mean, it's worse than that. So, you know what I'm saying? There's levels to it. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about just not just that side of it, you know, like it's like this right here, man. Like somebody will be telling you, hey, don't, you know, put down the Bible, right? For instance. But then they're pushing Darwinism. They're pushing vaccination. They're pushing Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? It's the same person that just literally just told you to put down the Bible. You know, something that at least brought you some type of comfort. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So this is what these guys are doing, man. And it's like you said, at this point, either you're being duped or you part of the GIP, and that's the Ghetto Informant Program.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys are funded by the Ghetto Informant Program. Some of them are, some of them not. Some of them are just free agents, but a lot, and they're just on stupid, stuck on stupid. We talk to these guys a lot, but we give them the information behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, and we argue the point for years, and they still turn around and be like, "Yeah, but we Africans, but we hate y'all because y'all don't want to be black." But we never said that we hate our people. We said that we hate the pet names that are given to us by the colonizers to control your mind. We talk about the matrix. We try to break it down in every fucking term that you can break this stuff down to. And at this point, you're not conscious, right? But Here's the thing: the problem that we have with, you know, just with them people coming into consciousness, right, or coming into who they are, even people that identify with being from here, right?
Right.
We have issues with the labeling. See what I'm saying? So you got people that or don't want to unify with us because we identify as Aborigines. They identify as Indians, or they identify as Indigenous, right? They identify as Native American, as opposed to looking at the word Aborigine, which will encompass all of that and bring everybody together. We have more power. You know what I'm saying? So let's sit back and say, "Oh no, you guys don't want to be Moors." We never said that. What we're saying is that we encompass all these things.
Right.
We encompass you don't have to throw anything away to know that you're from here and start acting towards it. You know what I'm saying? Right. And that's the problem that we have with these labels. So people are saying, "Hey, we're black," and we're like, "Hey, look, if you believe in black power, right, and if you can admit that there's a social construct, this is a social construct, and there's a caste system, right, which pushes black at the bottom, which makes you psychologically want to bleach your skin. Well, them crackers already bleached the dome. Right. So that's why we don't have to bleach our skin, is because our brain is bleached. You know what I'm saying? We think like that. And just so everybody know, the epsom of the word black means bleached, blotted. Right. Blank. Right. So what they're doing is they're even changing, changing the words, blanco. They're even changing what blank, bleak, right, means, which is white. Now, you know what I'm saying? Right. Blanco. So they're just changing words up. Maroon now is a runaway slave instead of just being brown. Well, in the Spanish language, maroon is still brown. But because you believe it, maroon turns into cimarron, turns into Seminole. Right? Right. Seminole means runaway slave. But then they'll tell you that, oh, this is the white Seminoles, and then you are the black Seminoles, that the white Seminoles took you in. So the white runaway slaves took you in. See what I'm saying? So at every turn, they'll throw black on there just to make it even a worse. This is black caucus. This is black Seminole. This is black this, black Indian, black. You know what I'm saying? Black, because if it's a black, there's a white. And that's what they're banking on. So with the psychological warfare that's been, we got to throw black in the trash along with white, right? Right. So they use black against us, just like Black Lives Matter is used against us. See what I'm saying? Right. They know that they can push us into, you know, fear mongering, and then at the same time, while they're pushing Black Lives Matter and making it damn near a mandate. They had a mandate on Black Lives Matter. If any of these people would have been like, all lives matter, police, whatever, teachers' lives matter, they'd have got fired.
Right.
So they're not on code. So what they're saying to these people is, you guys got to do what the fuck we say. If you don't, you're going to lose your job. You're going to lose funding as well. So it's not just people of color. So this is everybody. Everybody's being controlled or censored.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you know, or neutered. You know what I'm saying? We are literally being castrated. And
right.
so that's what we're talking about, bro. You know what I'm saying? We've literally been castrated.
Damn.
Peace of God, so man.
Damn.
Peace to everybody.
Yeah, it's damn. Yeah, that's real talk. It's real spit. So I'm gonna play the video you're talking about right here. Let me pull it up here 1 second. Okay, let me hold on. Make it bigger here so people can see it. Make sure my end is seen. All right, let me pause it and play it from the beginning. So do you want to explain the video before or after I play it?
After we're gonna talk about it after.
All right, about to play it right now. Here we go.
One thing about our community is that we don't identify as African, and we don't like identify as African American.
What's that?
For the natives.
Yeah.
I like when it comes to talking about African Americans, I have no education with that. Period. I don't. I'm not even connecting to that no more. Because that's a system.
The Negro is still languished in the corners of American society. Finds himself in exile in his homeland.
All right. So Chief, explain this movie coming up here and what you're working on.
Well, this is a docu-series presented by First American Council, and which we Aboriginal American, we're pushing the First American agenda. We say America first, right? What we're saying is that the educational system and everybody have been putting out imagery, right, and misinformation about who are the Aborigines of America. So we're saying this is called the First American, and this is the forbidden, untold truths of the American Aborigines. That's the title of it, right? So that's what this movie's about. It's a docu-series, and we're going to walk it down from the beginning, you know what I'm saying? So what we can prove, you know what I'm saying, with bones and archaeology and stuff like that or whatever. And our job is to make Naya and Luzia just as famous as Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? This movie, we feel that this information, this movie series, and what we're pushing should be bigger than the Star Wars series. It should be bigger than Star Trek and all these other fake shit that didn't do anything for our people. You know what I'm saying? So not only the information that uplifts you, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't have to tell you how you feel just knowing that this is your land. It's like knowing you home and it's your shit. You know what I'm saying? You have a different outlook on building, on protecting, you know what I'm saying, on just being able to create, you know what I mean? So a lot of times, you know, you heard this before, hey man, we don't want to do nothing because they're gonna come and tear it down.
Right.
Who's that? Us? Like, come on, bro. Like that's not happening. But we are regulated out of and taxed out of stuff. So and we've been taxed illegally because they did reclassify us as African Americans. So let me ask you a question, right? And I've been asking this question for a while, right? So we know that a lot of these so-called natives are untaxed, right? But that's a designation that has been designated for us, but because we have been bamboozled and turned into Africans and blacks, that we're not tapping into that, and we pay into the tax code that doesn't give back to us, right? That enriches these other people who are untaxed, okay? So here's the problem. So you talk about the taxes that these people are building against us, and we're saying, okay, we're not gonna. I want to say this. We're saying that if we're the Indians, right, and we have been classified as African Americans, right, and we're not tapping into the tax, not being taxed, so being able to utilize the same thing that these so-called Native Americans are using, right? Because they wasn't around they weren't even around during the Civil War, let alone being around for the Revolutionary War. So they wasn't talking about Native Americans not being taxed. Okay, so they're using this, and we're not using it, and that's the problem that we're having. So my point about that is Kyrie Irving, now that he has been, I don't know, adopted by this Native American tribe, is Kyrie Irving tax free?
Mm.
Right? Think about it. Think
right.
about it. Think about if Mayweather was a part of this movement, right? 10 years, 20 years ago, all the money that they done took from him, 50 million, they taking half, 100 million, they taking half. Think about that, y'all. Somebody, you got a check, you work, right, for 2 weeks. At the end of the week, you say, oh man, I got a nice fat check. Somebody say, well, look, you owe us half that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Illegal. They taxing Mayweather and us illegally.
Facts.
Could we build more if we wasn't taxed? Of course. It's a Native American tribe downtown Las Vegas who has a dispensary on their reservation, right?
Right.
Which is generating them millions of dollars, which is enriching their people. But guess what? They tax you, but they don't pay taxes to the state or the government. They're not regulated by the state or government, so they can do things that other dispensaries who are regulated by the government, right, can't do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, but these people are enriching their small tribe of people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they're not taxed. So as a solution for so-called black people here in America, right, is the things that we're fighting for, like to give us something, well, they're still taking. Stop taking taxes from us.
Right.
That's the first thing they should stop. Stop not just stop the bleeding, but stop fucking cutting us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're cutting us with the school shit. You're cutting us with the religious shit. You're cutting us with this, right? And we can stop them from cutting us. But a lot of us are just taking the knives and stabbing ourselves and cutting ourselves and bleeding to death. See what I'm saying? We don't own nothing. That's a problem. We don't distribute anything. That's a problem because there's other people that understand economic embargoes and they understand economic warfare. We do not. We have to go out our way not to spend money with anybody else outside of our community. I don't understand the problem. So knowing who you are, and this movie is about knowing who you are, tapping into that. And a lot of times when I was so Afrocentric out, what brought me home was all this stuff in America. I was like, wait a minute. I'm all in Egypt, all in the Sudan and pyramids and shit, Gotepi, all this other shit, right? But we got it right here. And it's older. And more.
Right.
We got more pyramids. Tens of thousands of shit. They don't have nothing. They got a couple hundred. So why are we comparing ourselves, you know what I'm saying, to the little guy when we the big dogs? And we say that we are. Matter of fact, we interviewed Dr. David Imhotep, right? Who has the first PhD in ancient African studies, right? He's the first.
Right.
He said that, yeah, Africa's motherland, but he called America grandma land, right? We like to call it great grandma. Ain't nothing older than America. And we gave civilization to the world.
Right.
They had to be blowing out candles right now. You know what I'm saying? Riding donkeys and shit right now if it wasn't for us. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and you definitely wouldn't be able to listen to us on this thing, right? On this YouTube or internet or nothing, the phone. The American Negro, the North American Negro has invented everything. And we still giving the planet culture, American culture. So a lot of these Native Americans like to say that we're still in their culture. We like to say, well, what? American culture is football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Our ancestors invented that here in America. We just allowed the Europeans to come and take those industries over.
Right.
In which they have built the industries, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, all these other people. That's their origin story. Not ours.
Right.
See what I'm saying, brother? they just swindled us out of it and tricked us into becoming the slaves when they'd actually Slavs or slaves. The word definition of slave is for them. It's designated literally for people from Slavonia, Slovakia, Slavic slaves who have been enslaved for centuries.
Right.
Matter of fact, R. Kelly just got convicted of the Mann Act, right?
Right.
The Mann Act was written in 1910
Right.
for pale women who were being slaves, put into sex slavery or whatever type of slavery, right?
Right.
But slavery and any other type of debauchery, you know what I'm saying? But that's 1910. They still had to have laws on the books to protect these people from slavery.
Right.
Come on, bro. And what we doing in 1910, we were doing great things here in America. We had cities thriving all over America.
That's right.
What were they doing? So they like to tell the story as if, you know, our origin story started when they said it started. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem that we have. You cannot allow nobody to tell your story, and
That's
we
right.
continue to keep doing that. So, that's kind of my point on that, brother. You know what I'm saying? As far as that, yeah, man. Appreciate everybody tapping.
Yeah. I mean that. Wow. It's just amazing how we're getting back to our throne in our home,
Mhm.
and I'm appreciating this process. However, we got to constantly separate and expose these people that are known provocateurs and are trying to get us off our goal. You know, do these mainstream, I'm not gonna call their name because I've done it more enough times, but these mainstream people y'all listen to, you know, and y'all knew what I'm talking about. B1, Foundational, and then what's the other dude? Professor whatever. Y'all gotta know that they're saying some good stuff. They're saying some great shit. But their hand is being forced right now to talk about this Aboriginal thing. What I don't want them to do is try to get their money off this shit, the tension, and do it for mischievous things. And if they do it, y'all need to do it right. I know that one dude y'all like is making this document about these maroons and all this stupid shit. Because she just talked about maroon thing. And they're not black Seminoles. They're just Seminoles. And there's a word before the Seminole too. But you know, y'all need to stop with this black shit and wiggity woke shit and all this stuff. Y'all need to stop with that. If you're gonna do a documentary on it, either have Chief do it, somebody else do it. But look, this is not the time to play with the ancestors right now, because if you get in the way right now, things ain't gonna be too good for you. And I'll just keep it like this. Not the time to be playing with this shit, the money and all this is the time. Again, y'all saw what happened to the African movement. Y'all saw what happened to it. This is not the time to bullshit no more. The universe,
Right.
the creator, whatever you want to say, is watching right now and has learned from the mistake of what is created. So these African motherfuckers have been exposed. If y'all want to do that again and mess with this right here, y'all gonna have another thing coming. I'm telling you right now, do not play with this shit. And if you're doing it, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to comment on what you're saying, but yeah, you're definitely absolutely right, brother. But a lot of these groups that you're saying, we know they are forced.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We've been forced an envelope, but not only that, though, once again, they're funded to steal the energy, to redirect the traffic. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of people that say, you know, they do not consider themselves Aboriginal. Right. And there's a reason for, once again, we talk about this term Aboriginal as it, let's say, for instance, they're talking about Indigenous people day or week or month. Right.
Right.
Right. Right. So we talk about that. Right. So when we talk about Indigenous, it would be, I say, for instance, if you look at the word minority, right, we know that they have put other people into the minority to water down affirmative action, which was specifically started for a specific group of people, right?
Right.
So the word indigenous, the same way. We know that people have incorporated in civilized tribes and did certain things, and right. So that's where they started that at, right? So and they consider themselves Native Americans or indigenous people, right?
Right.
And so when we talk about the UNDRIPS, the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People, right?
Right.
Well, we had to write the Declaration of Reclamation of our natural rights and identity and add Aboriginal people in there, which would include the so-called African American or so-called American Negro, American Indian, anything that you want to call yourself, the Moor, whatever you want to call yourself. This document that's on the screen right here, it's still up, make sure it's still up. Declaration of Reclamation, right, was written to include us in the UNDRIP and the ADRIP, which is the American Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People, right? But Indigenous includes Elizabeth Warren.
Right.
People who came in through Ellis Island, people who came through Angel Island and mixed in, or just after courthouses got burned down, went up and signed up as you know what I'm saying, start labeling themselves for certain things, or people that we say had $5 become $5 Indians, whatever. These are the people that have hijacked our culture, our everything. You know what I'm saying? Spiritual capital, whatever, right? And they just gave some Native Americans group $32 billion.
Right.
They didn't invite us to that table
at all.
Right. The Native Americans didn't overwhelmingly go vote for Kamala Harris. They didn't put in office. The so-called black women or the Aboriginal women, right?
Right.
Voted Kamala Harris in.
Right.
Why isn't she, right, extending this billions of dollars to us, them, right?
Right.
See the point? See, you know what I'm saying? So we continue to fall for the banana in the tailpipe because we inherently, right, feel that we are less than because we're basing it off of this caste system. I don't care what nobody say. Nobody wants nothing black. Nobody wants black nothing. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, because if you did, you would be supporting black businesses, black banks, all the things that I put black on. Why don't you put something else on it? Why don't you put something that's going to give it power, right? And you might want to participate in it. See that work? We don't believe that niggas support the real. At this point, bro, I think motherfuckers is crazy. I think we're living in bizarro world, my nigga. Like the fact that it took this long for polite, for instance, it's still people support it.
Right.
It's like think about that. Think about that for a second.
Right.
It's still people support this dude, right?
Right.
And I know he's gonna probably get convicted, be underneath the jail with York, and they still gonna support him. Say, the government, you know what I'm saying? They always just stand this old black dumbness. You know, the government does this to everybody, so ain't nobody pedophiles, ain't nobody. What about the victims? See what I'm saying?
Right.
Stuff like that or whatever, bro. So the dumbness, and like I said, bro, y'all don't support the real, man. Y'all support fake shit. And you wonder why shit don't get done for our people. Motherfuckers support the weirdest shit ever, man. Like it's almost like they don't even have to ask.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the point that the problem I have with the people, right? I'm a man, so I can only speak for men. I can't speak for what the women are doing. Whatever, I can only speak for men. And we're not protecting and building in our communities. We don't protect our women and children, and we're not building anything for the future for them. So when we're trying to get this respect that we want, how do we do that when we're not doing the basic things, brother?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And educating ourselves and pushing the right things and not allowing other people to disrespect us and disrespect our women and disrespect our children. We continue to allow this to happen, and that's a problem, brother. And so, yeah, knowing who you are is the main thing that we should be doing, right?
Right.
And not knowing who you are, I guess I know put us in this position right now. So so that's the main thing with that, brother. Right. This is really, really crazy. But the Declaration of Reclamation of our identity and our natural rights, right? So we talk about identity. Who are we? Right? Attaching ourselves to this land, right, gives us power. Once again, as a group, we can approach the Department of Interior. We can approach the Board of Education and say, why aren't you guys teaching that we were here? Why did you guys come up with the 1619 story in 2019, right? Because they wanted to commemorate the 400 years of you coming here through 20 people. This is the first time Negroes came to America is in 1619 on a hijacked boat. Come on.
with no
Stop
engine
playing.
in it. With no engine.
Hey, check this out. They went back home. They went back to Cuba. They wasn't even from Africa.
Right.
They went back home to Cuba.
Right.
Because they didn't even stay here. So how's that our origin story? Well, we was already here.
Right.
We've been here.
Right.
But see, they tell the story as if the 13 colonies is Mississippi and Texas. In Arkansas or everywhere else. No, it's not. How the fuck? Why are y'all speaking for all of us? Right? Native Americans didn't exist in the Revolutionary War.
Right.
So when we're having these conversations, they'll write that term while speaking about 1760, right? Or revolutionary time of 1619, and they'll say African American. Ooh, Christmas Passage, the first African American. What? Where? Where's this African at? That term didn't exist until 88 or whatever, right?
Right.
A lot of us were grown ass people, bro. You see the point?
Right.
So what are we gonna do? Just continue? Next, they're gonna start calling us something else. Are we gonna allow them to name us that? See what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like it's just the dumbness, like you said, bro. Like it's like at this point, we are continue to support people that don't support us. These fools sat right there and did not support Ice Cube. He had the black plan for America, a black American plan. You think all these bliggity black? I ain't gonna call y'all Power Rangers. You know what I'm saying? Like like think about it. You think that they would have backed that up? Yeah, but no, because he was talking about meeting with Trump. They made that their excuse. Like right now, they make an excuse about Dave Chappelle. Listen, y'all, they're not mad at Dave Chappelle about no motherfucking niggas that's trying to be women. What the fuck is y'all talking about? They don't care about that. That nigga said he told a joke about the space Jews. That's what they mad. I don't know. I don't want to get your channel shut down, brother, but you know what I'm saying. That's why these fools are mad, because you can't talk about the Jews, dog. Y'all know this. They can't come out and just say it. They expect to say, I ain't got a problem with trans. I got a problem with white people. Hey, man, I love me some Dave Chappelle, though, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he going hard in the paint, bro. We got to stay on code, bro. Like, we cannot, you know, then there'd be a group of us that, yeah, so, you know, it's a black trans. Like, why y'all always got to just be in a trans group over there? Just be mad over there. Don't be like a special black group that's speaking up for black trainees. Can I say that?
Yes.
I don't know the protocol. Nigga, I'm going to say what the fuck I want to say. How about that in America? How about that? Like, we still got the First Amendment rights around this motherfucker, right?
Right.
Last time I think. So, so they try to apply so much pressure, but if they can shut down Dave Chappelle for speaking, what they going to do to you?
Right.
See what I'm saying? Dave Chappelle was talking that shit, talking about he was a nigga that walked away from $50 million. You see what I'm saying? Like, people are waking up to this. Think about the conversation that would change for a lot of these so-called celebrities once they tap into knowing who they are here.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Think about that. They might do more for the people on this land if they knew it from here.
That's right.
You definitely imagine all the money that Oprah was taxing. Shit, Oprah might be already tapped into this, y'all. Just ain't telling niggas. You know what I mean? I feel like that though too, bro. Like, it's a lot of them that know about this, but they're not telling nobody. Because remember when Kanye said, why y'all didn't tell him about the tax stuff? He got $69 million back in taxes.
Right.
Remember he was mad at all the so-called other dudes that didn't tell him?
Right.
I don't know who told him. Joe Osteen or somebody told him. Somebody told him though. But think about that. You getting $69 million back instead of giving them $69 million annually in taxes.
Mm.
See what I'm saying? That's right. So think about that. Like, yo, think about the what we can build. Because I know what the peyote tribe downtown Las Vegas building off the revenue, off the tax revenues, off the weed, of the cannabis sales and things in their facility. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I know the revenue that's being generated from that thing. You know what I'm saying? It's from that dispensary. They built a PGA golf course with a casino 25 miles outside of Las Vegas.
Making bank.
See what I'm saying?
Making bank.
Buildings. we ain't built shit. It's just one little Indian tribe.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Or native tribe. Well, like I don't like to use these terms because guess what? That's how they separate us.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So a lot of these people, which we would call mestizos.
Right.
Are you familiar with that term, bro?
Yes, I am.
Well, and that's the problem. They a mestizo thinks he's a full-blooded person.
Right.
And they clearly know they're mixed with the European. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
I think that once again, the dumbness of these conversations is so dumb because we know that 10,000 BC was number of niggas on the planet. But then they'll still turn around and say that a European sailed here. You see what I'm saying? Just
right.
the fact that they said European, they know that that they put Tom Cruise in your head.
Right.
No matter what, 50,000 years ago, it'd be like a European came on a boat. We think probably not. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And the niggas would be like, it was cold. Because it was cold, white people was there. Shut up. That's fake. It ain't. See what I'm saying? Like niggas say the dumbest shit. Oh, and I just want to we gotta destroy DNA tonight, bro.
Definitely.
We gotta destroy DNA.
Definitely.
Yeah, we gotta destroy DNA tonight. That's the last little stronghold they got, right?
Right.
They don't have bones. They don't have bones nowhere in Africa. When you asked earlier what bones they have in Africa, they attach themselves to. They're always gonna go to Lucy.
Right.
But she's millions of years old. So that's a munch. Can they find some more recent relatives of theirs? Stop going to their old ass relatives and go to some more recent relatives that built boats, that drew some blueprints up to build something or something. Matter of fact, somebody has some type of oral tradition over there that say that they lost somebody over here that they looking for something, but not spit in a tube, brother. Think about that. You spit in a tube. And niggas act like they can just spit in the tube and mail it in, and then they can look at it and find all your people.
Right.
Nigga, you have to fill out a fucking application. Like your name, social security number, your grandma, your great grandma, everybody that you can name, you fill that out, right? And guess what? If your cousin that you never met, and it's a lot of my cousins I never met, right?
Right.
I'm sure there's a lot of us out here that haven't met all their family members, right?
Right.
If they fill out the fucking application, you're gonna run into them too. Not the fact that y'all both split the tube. No, they're gonna find you through records. They're gonna find you through situations like that. Okay, well, yeah, they are distant cousins because they have a great in common. See what I'm saying? They're not finding you based off of your spit, and they definitely not putting you and matching you up with nobody across over in Africa. My question to you is, wouldn't they match you up with way more people here? Well, they're not looking here.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, China, the Ancestry.com, right? I can guarantee you, right, that they can find similarities to a couple people in China. And same thing with Africa. There's a couple people they find some similarities to. Oh, yeah, you're Mende. Well, they made up Mende. They make this stuff up. Listen, they made all this shit up. And I'm like, damn, I mean, Mindy is German.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like everything, these people created all that shit over there.
Right.
That's not ancient. You know what I'm saying? So once again, they keep turning around saying, well, there's Africa. We're Africans. Y'all mad. Y'all want to be Africans. And this and that and third. Well, that goes along with the out of Africa hypothesis. It's interesting. Spain is 9 miles from Africa.
Right.
They're not Africans. Because it's Europe now, right?
Right.
In your mind, it's Europe because they're not Africans. And they didn't migrate out of Africa. But we did. So now you have these Native Americans over here saying, well, you know, they part Spanish, they part European, and then they mix a little African. They say, hell, we got a little African in us, right? But then they say they mostly Native American. Ain't no goddamn. So you mean to tell me that Native American is a race? African American is a race, and that you can find some DNA for a whole made up race of people, bro. This is all game, and that's what they're banking on. That people are going to continue to be stupid and not wake up to this dumb shit, and that's what has happened. We are completely walking dead as a people.
Mm-hmm.
And you said it earlier, talking deaf and deaf talk or whatever. We have a deaf culture.
Facts.
We don't have a life culture. You know what I'm saying? It's like now. It's like you're a damn you the damn devil if you believe in if you're a pro-lifer.
Right.
Not saying that you stopping somebody from making their choice, but if you are a heterosexual man, you can't speak out.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? If you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to fall for any of their stuff, it's like, oh, you can't speak out against that. What happened to our rights as men? As people who say, I believe in life. Not that I believe in your choice. So that work. I'm not taking anything from you. It's not my business who you lay down with. Unless you laying down with some children, unless you taking something from somebody, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, that's your business. Why are y'all pushing this agenda on us?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem I have. And so once we fight back, they'll say, oh, well, you guys can't say that on this. You can't speak out against that, but they can say whatever they want to say and do whatever they want to do to us. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. We're the first Americans, and that's the key, man, knowing who you are and beating this thing, man, is knowing we the first. We never came here. We've been here. So that's my question, man, to everybody, man. Who are the first Americans? And, we can go from there, bro.
Yeah, I mean, real talk. Just like this question I have about this Pangea thing. I never was a supporter, believer of Pangea. I don't know how you feel about that, or, what you know about it, but what's your take on Pangea?
Good question, brother. Well, there's a seafloor, right?
Right.
So that means, like, for instance, islands, the Caribbean islands are connected to the Americas, right?
Right.
It's just a seafloor. So the water rose up to where those islands were connected. Well, the water wasn't so high, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So sea level rose and created islands. Those islands were still connected to America, right? So you can hold your breath, walk out in the ocean, right? You can walk on the seafloor. So that kills Pangea because everything is still attached right now today, right? That kills it, right? You know how fools be saying this is what got me when they used to say that Africa was the only continent anchored, right? And everything else is floating. Right. I'm like, well, shit, Europe and Asia is attached to Africa. How the fuck is that floating away? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And just start making me start asking questions, right? Remember I said Spain is literally 9 miles from North Africa?
Right.
Today. Well, guess what? The Mediterranean Sea used to be a savanna. So it's just water rose up on it now.
Right.
So motherfuckers used to be able to walk back and forth right there. So it's the same land, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's just water there now. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're talking about, bro. Just knowing, really just, it's in the etym of words. When you're talking about etymology of words, you know what I mean? Even when we're talking about the etymology of Cimarron, it was just a descriptive term of the Maroons. They had Maroon colonies. So the Spanish would just, that would be their descriptive term of the people. Y'all Browns, right? Cleveland Browns, Cleveland Maroons, Browns. It's brown people. They're just, all they're doing is a descriptive term. And a lot of these so-called Indian names are a descriptive term of dark people.
Right.
Like, if nobody was sitting around calling themselves Blackfoot, and I'm Blackfoot, nobody's sitting around calling themselves Blackfoot. Nobody's calling themselves Choctaw. Nobody's calling themselves, oh, we're the Seminoles, until they created the corporation for it. And then make you fight to get on the rolls of stuff, shit that they took from you. See what I'm saying? Don't make any sense. So they tell us the stuff that doesn't make any sense, and we have to make it make sense. And that's all we're doing is making stuff make sense, bro. We're putting out this imagery. We're talking about the first Americans. Who are the first Americans? And we want to, like I said, this question, it's a real interesting question because, you say if you ask somebody outside of us, right? A lot of times when we ask people that look like us and have our same experience, they don't know.
Right.
When you ask people outside of us, a lot of times they know, bro. See what I'm saying?
Facts.
A lot of times they know, and they're hiding it. So you just we gotta dig it out, man. So yeah, Pangea, man, it's fake. Just another hypothesis that can't be proven. Like the Earth is still attached. It's just water has risen on top of the land now. So that's what I know. You know what I'm saying? So I don't go with what I don't know, brother. So that would be my understanding on Pangea.
And another thing I've researched, and I say people go, this is whatever, but America, the continent of America was up out of the water. People don't like this shit before the continent of Africa. So how in the fuck did we so-called come from Africa when that motherfucker wasn't even existing yet?
Well, I mean, you know, that's according to geologists, right?
Right.
It's according to geologists that America was the first out the primordial waters.
Right.
Well,
right.
We have the oldest soil. You know, they have something called red crag, right? Like in America, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you're going down into strata. Strata is just levels. When you're going down to the levels, I mean, America has the oldest soil according to science. Not according to us, according to science. You know how, like, you know, I have trees, they can tell how old trees are.
Right.
Well, it's the same thing with the earth. As further dig down, if things are solid and hasn't been tampered with, you know how old it is, right? Oh, this has been fossilized, or this is whatever, right? So the deeper they dig, the darker this planet gets.
That's right.
That's how that works. And everybody knows this, but they continue to say stuff like, oh, well, we know that these are Negro skulls, but their genetics, they have similar genetics to some Native Americans. See how they work?
Right.
They have similar genetics to some modern Native Americans. Even though they don't look like modern Native Americans, they have similar genetics to some modern Native Americans, right? Well, guess what? Some modern Native Americans are mixed from us. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Period. I don't understand why they so mad and they just be so disrespectful to the walking, living, breathing ancestors that it burns me up, bro. And I'm trying to be peaceful, but the disrespect has to stop. Right. Once again, we got to stop the crimes from happening to us. We got to stop them from taxing, stop them from doing these things instead of sitting around crying about it. You know what I'm saying? Men don't sit around and cry. Hey, they're miseducating our children. They're doing this to our women. We don't have this, we don't have that. You just gonna cry? Let's go have a meeting and cry, and then we're gonna leave the meeting and come back next week and cry again. Really? Nah, I'm not meeting with no niggas that's crying about some people doing to them, bro. I'm not doing that. So y'all keep that shit over there. Meet with that dumb shit over there. We are doing that. So we really building over here. Like I said, we are the only builders. Y'all already know, man. Hit us up, man. Y'all already know, man. Only Builders, man. We launching that today. Only Builders Club coming today. Y'all, we're gonna launch that today. The Only Builders Club, man. So stay tuned. It's going down today, man. So like I said, man, we kicking it off with the West Side Kulik interview, man. Like I said, we appreciate you having the Sahab over here, man. And, you know, we're just doing our thing, man. Like I said, it's all about the culture, man. It's all about waking up the people, man, waking up the ancestors in you. You know what I mean? So that's kind of
that's right. And like I say, you know, much respect for being on here too, you know, but I had to talk about it with you because you get into, you know, the geology, the anthropology, and so you know about this, and that's why I tell people about Pangea, and I talk about the Africa coming up out of water and how America was here before Africa. People are like, what the hell? But when you really study it, it was, and that's what I'm saying. Like we debunk this shit over and over and over and over again, and we just go at a basic level. This has been said by many of these people in our community. I mean, the 12.5 million slave thing within 2 years. You know, a fucking container thing that floats on water, they call a sailboat or a ship or whatever you want to call it, with a piece of cloth on it with no engine on it, stole 12.5 million slaves. And it was about 5 white people that went to some fucking tribe off the coast of Africa and stole them. I mean, think about it from that point right there and go, this is an agenda right there. That's basic. That's basic.
I mean, you know, we talk about Dr. Henry Louis Gates
right.
Jr., right?
Right.
He has the slavevoyage.org, right?
Right.
That's his website. And we know he's funded, right?
Right.
And if you even go see who funds it, they let you know who's funding Dr. Henry Louis Gates and the slavevoyage.org, right?
Right.
From the revised stuff from slavevoyage.org, what they can prove, right? through manifest and things of that nature, they have taken down the 12.5 to 4 million. Okay, they don't see. This is one of these things that, you know, when they put it out, they don't make a bunch of noise about it because they know once again, we're catching them in the hands in the cookie jar.
Right.
Okay. So the numbers are being revised from 12.5 million to 4 million. Right.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure they're going down even more from there. The point is, right, when you see these doctor documents, okay, they're saying certain stuff like, okay, well, only so many slaves came to North America, and this is less than that actually came here was less than 200,000, according to them. Now, a lot of times they're not telling the color of the people, or, you know, the race of the people, stuff like that, whatever. They're saying things like what language the person spoke. See what I'm saying? And so a lot of times people will see, oh, manifest, as they say, it says Angola right here, right?
Right.
Now they're talking about the dialect of what this person is speaking, right? When we talk about Angola, it's a Portuguese dialect, right? But the Portuguese came and created Angolan language on the shores of America, off the indigenous language of the people, what they encountered. See what I'm saying?
Right.
So when say the Portuguese, Spanish, Portuguese worked together, fought against the Dutch, German, British, right? Same people.
Right.
When they would capture their ships, right, they would have people that would obviously be speaking the languages that they needed to speak, that was created, the Angolan language. You know what I'm saying? So people see Angola and they go like, oh, they see Cherokee. Oh, these are languages. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times the language and the people are one and the same. But once again, Angola didn't exist at a certain time period. It was here in America. Comes from a dialect of language that was created by the Portuguese.
Right.
Here in America. Just like Portuguese was created here in America. Just like Spanish was created here in America. Just like English was created here in America. And I know people don't understand that. Well, Latin is ancient in America.
That's right.
They just took it and said, oh, the Greeks or the Romans. They're always throwing that back and forth. The Greeks and the Romans created everything for us. But didn't create nothing there. Doesn't make any sense. See what I'm saying?
Right.
So they like to tell that story as if Sumer or the Greeks created this stuff there and then gave it to the rest of the world. So they even talk about Africa being named after Africanus and all this dumb shit. Wrong. That's a story. Just like they say America's named after Amerigo Vespucci. Well, his name wasn't Amerigo. His name was Alberto. They just rewrote that to put themselves into supremacy, American supremacy. I wouldn't like to say white supremacy, but we are the supreme. We're the supreme beings because we gave everybody else life.
Let's
Europeans owe us everything, bro.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk. I didn't mean to cut you off, but let's talk about that because I'm sick and tired of this shit. And you can get back what you're saying because I'm sick and tired of these goddamn mainstream blickety black woke people talking about white supremacy. There's no such thing. Now there is a white inferiority complex that these Europeans or Eurasians or these Nazi Zionists have set up. But when you say supreme and say white supremacy, what are you telling the universe?
Well, you definitely tell them that you ain't going for no power if you continue. It's like, you know, you call it like, I remember, speaking of Tariq Nasheed, right? He did an interview with a debate with Jared Taylor. I don't know if you caught that. Jared Taylor is supposed to be a pale degenerate, right?
Right.
That's how I like to say it, degeneracy, right? As you're going the opposite direction. Okay, you're degenerate, recessive. Okay, so we just call it what it scientifically really is, right? You're recessive people.
Right.
It's not being mean or nothing. It's just, hey, you guys are recessive. Okay, let's go. Right. So point being is, right, that he went on there, Jared Taylor, on this debate, and he was white supremacist, white supremacist, white supremacist, white supremacist, white supremacist, white supremacist. I mean, he said it more than he said anything else. He said this word like 1,000 times, right? Now, I'm watching this debate, and I realize that these people have our number. That they know the playbook because they created the Black Talk playbook.
That's right. That's right.
Right? So they know how to beat it. Right?
Right.
And I see it every time. Every time I see this brother, you know, it's like you rooting for your team, but your team suck.
Right.
Right? I'm talking about suck. Y'all suck. Sorry. Y'all can't stand in front of these guys. But every time I see you stand in front of these pale people, y'all get bent over, folded up, and kicked down the street. Right? They do. Every time I'll be like, fuck, we just keep losing every time we see one of these guys get in front of, right? So at the end of the debate, he lost, hands down, right? Because all the energy that he was giving them to be white supremacists, Jared Taylor looked at him and said, I never said I was a white supremacist. I never said these things that you're saying.
Right.
You're the racist. And they kept saying that he was race baiting, right? Now, a lot of us are saying, fuck that white man. We're not listening to him, right? Well, there's truth in everything. You have to examine it. At the end of the debate, right? Tariq went off, you know how like, you know how you reluctantly get off, you know, they're about to talk about you when you get off.
Right.
So he gets off the panel, right? The first thing the host said, he said, did you see how many times he said white supremacist? He had to say it at least 1,000 times.
Right.
Every time he said it, he just gave Jared Taylor energy and power.
Damn.
And he just kept putting himself down. Like, it was just crazy. It was on this show called Bake the Last One, some shit like that or whatever, right?
Right.
Once again, why the hell is you over there with them? Why are you not over here with us building? You know what I'm saying? Huh? What'd I say? What'd I say? Oh, I'm my bad. Support the real, man. Support the real, man. Stop being so motherfucking fake. God damn.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I feel about y'all, man. Like, I just feel about this fake ass shit that we say we supposed to be about. We supposed to be building. Swear.
Right.
Niggas building Balenciaga up. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We know how to build everybody else's platforms up. Right?
Right.
When somebody gonna ask him when he gonna come over on our platforms? Come over here and debate with us over here about this white supremacy conversation that you're talking about, right?
Right.
Now, to his credit, he's just calling them suspected white supremacists now, which is no difference.
Right.
But he's moving in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? Foundation of Black America, stuff like that or whatever, right? But yeah, bro, like, why these niggas ain't building over here with us? And you talked about it earlier when we talked earlier today, you know, a lot of people, I don't want to mischaracterize what you say, you know, what you said though, but tell people what you were talking about earlier though, as far as, you know, we ain't get into no names, just as far as people not building.
They wanna suck the limelight. And my thing is, I don't mind people. The only reason I'm calling people names like a Jason Black, which I think he's called on Black Authority. Then you got Professor Black Truth. Then you got the Holy Grail everybody loves, this Tariq Nasheed dude. Now these three people say some good stuff, you know, again their hand is forced, right? Especially with Tariq Nasheed. But again, these people seem to be doing it for, I don't want to use this word clout because that's used a lot, but they seem to be doing it for reasons like that. And that's where I started calling their names out. And I'm like, y'all do it. You did all this Afrocentric shit, blankety black, woke shit. Now you all of a sudden talk about Aboriginals, but you're calling people Black Seminoles. So it offends me. That's why I'm saying shit. And then we want to do the Maroon movie. We want to do the Swamp and all this whatever that bullshit is called in Virginia. I just don't. It's to a point where it's like, look, if y'all going to do this, you got to get the proper people. You got to get people like Chief Holiday here, myself, Kerry Davis, you know, African Americans, you know, people that have been doing this for a long time. You just can't jump in it and then get goddamn because he was getting some people, I think, from the documentary he's gonna do for it. And I heard the names he's doing it for, and I'm like, are you fucking serious? So it's very disrespectful, but he does that because money, momentum, and you want the fucking attention. And when a man's got to be in the forefront, yeah. I was just saying when a man.
Oh, my bad, brother. I was just saying super facts.
Yeah, when a man's got to be in the forefront like that and doesn't share the knowledge of people that are, what's the word here? I don't want to say lesser than or whatever, but how can I say that's some female nature type shit is what I'm talking about. Again, we all can get a piece of this fucking pie. I don't got to be the biggest or baddest. We all can storm the front right here, right now. But again, people claim they don't want to be a leader or don't want to be the forefront, but they fucking acting like it. And y'all know it's true. But I'm telling y'all right now, if that dumbass document comes out and y'all fund it and make a big deal about it, I'm gonna be I'm gonna have to do what I got to do at that point. I'm gonna have to do what I got to do because I'm tired of that shit.
Hey man, listen, if this ain't the #1 movie in the world, I'm gonna have an issue.
Yeah.
God damn it. If the first American movie ain't the #1 movie in the world, yeah, I'm gonna have an issue.
That's right.
I ain't the type to just take shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm gonna act a fucking fool. That's all I'm gonna tell y'all.
Right.
Because I at this point, what else we got? You see what I'm saying? We're trying to do everything the right way, trying to move the right way. But y'all don't want that.
Right.
Niggas want nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? They don't want solutions. They don't want to, you know what I'm saying? They don't want that.
Mm.
We don't want solutions, really. Think about it. We don't want solutions.
They don't.
And then everybody feels like, oh, well, you know, they're going to, you know, people tell me this all the time, man, they're going to pop you, man. I'm like, because I'm out here pushing for our people. Who going to, no, Tupac got killed by people that look like him.
Right.
I ain't worried about my people. See what I'm saying?
And then
I
Tupac.
don't worry about my people. I don't go nowhere and see no family, no relatives. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have that issue with my people.
Yeah, and then Tupac.
Like I don't see enemies. But yeah, huh?
No, I was just saying Tupac earlier, he was spitting all that Afrocentric bullshit. If you notice late in his career and if you listen to certain songs, he was talking about his family records and bloodline and genealogy. And I noticed certain things in him. And then he started realizing why his name was his name. You know, Tupac, Amari Shakur, and all that kind of shit. But in particular, Tupac. So it's like he started realizing certain things. People go, well, he was killed based off this. But yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, he was going to find out the truth about who he was. And that, you know, at that time in 96 or 95 or 97, whatever, if he'd have found that out and had a forefront it, man, we'd be in a different place nowadays right now.
Well, I mean, you know, a lot of these people, man, like we got Waka Flocka, right? We're gonna talk about the trailer. Shout out to Waka Flocka Flame and his ancestors. Shout out to Deb, Mama Deb. You know what I'm saying? Like because somebody passed that information down to him. So I don't know if you know people seen that full clip of Sway in the morning.
Yeah,
you know that's where we got that clip from. Like shout out to Sway for having it on there, right?
Right.
So Waka was breaking some stuff down to him. He was letting them know. He said, man, you know, he used natives, right?
Right.
Look, if sometimes you might have to connect to people. So you might not use the word Aboriginal yet.
Right.
You might use Indian because that's something that connect our people.
Right.
We might use Black. We say Black Aboriginal power to connect to our people. We'll throw the Black away later. You know what I'm saying? But we're just trying to attach them to being Americans, tap into power. That's what this is about.
Right.
So this film, this is not the #1 film on the planet. I'm gonna have a motherfucking problem.
That's right.
Because once again, if you telling me, right? Matter of fact, if we ain't in the Seminole movie, there's a goddamn problem. You understand my point?
That's what I'm saying. He ain't calling you or Carrie or Dane or people.
If I had 1 million subscribers,
yeah.
Well, I mean that might be another reason. Like I said, we knew, bro. Listen, years ago we knew this was gonna happen,
right?
And we literally said to the people that we were gonna do it. So all this is not new. Like all of them are gonna eventually because they see $1 behind it, but also to control the narrative, to control the information, the flow of information. So we understand that a lot of these people are funded by these people, y'all. They're funded by the Zionists.
Facts.
Sorry, I don't know why niggas act like. I remember when a boy was Tommy Sotomayor. Like if people don't know, like he interviewed David Duke. And people don't remember that.
Right.
All these niggas they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna have a sit down with David Duke. Not the fact that he's a pale man. They sit down with pale people all the time. They work for pale people.
Right.
No. The fact that lets you know, right? You can't say nothing about these people. You can't be in that lane. I'm talking about these specific group of people who created every institution that we have. Period.
Right.
I don't care what nobody says. Fuck you if you don't know that. If you don't know that every institution, if they didn't create it, they took it over as soon as that you're done at this point. If you can name me an institution that didn't, I'm gonna start clapping right now. I'm saying every goddamn institution. Period.
Right.
I can't even think of one that's not.
Facts.
And unless it's some of the new ones, shout to New Era Detroit, Chicago. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you heard of them and the work that they doing. You know what I'm saying? Cleaning up the community from the inside out.
Yeah, it's
stepping in from the game, you know, intervention and things like that, or whatever, the murders and stuff that's going on in our communities. These are the things that need to be funded.
Right.
Building that's going on in our communities for our children.
Right.
That's what we should be doing. Not like, they some demons. We just gonna let them kill each other. When are we gonna build something? When are we gonna start being responsible for these young men and women?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The women are responsible for, like, now it's like thought heaven. Right? Now I'm all for women liberation and doing what y'all do. Cool, right? But come on. The youngsters is looking at this. They have access to it. They have access to everything that you guys are doing. So, like, let's just say, for instance, you had one love and hip hop show, right?
Right.
Then we get basketball wives, we get LA this, all type of Real Housewives, and every show is the same, showing us in the negative light, which people are taking that and learning from that, and saying, well, this is how we should interact with each other. This is how we should interact with these men. Mm-hmm. And this is how these men should interact with these women, and vice versa. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And this is the problem that we have. People. You
know what else I noticed? This kind of goes what you're talking about, but I've noticed this, and it's happened recently as of this year. It's happening a lot, but I said I need to talk about this. Probably need to do a podcast on it. Have you noticed, especially white people, when they get around these butch, dyke, lesbian, so-called black women, they treat them very, what's the word here? I don't want to say nice, because they don't treat any of us nice, but they treat them with a certain kind of respect they don't treat or give to so-called black men. And the reason why they do that is not only to congratulate their sickness, because it is a mental illness. I'm saying it's LBGT, LG, whatever the hell it's called, is a mental illness. But it keeps us in a psychosis of killing ourselves off, and it keeps a competition between men and women. Because what I always tell people in this community right here is we're not competing against. We're going to love. We're going to be in balance and shit like that. But I've noticed, and this happened about 2 days ago. I was in this place, and I said, these damn ignorant white people who don't like these black people here are treating these black lesbian dykes a certain way. But when a straight so-called black male goes near them, they have this microaggression. They act funny. They ain't trying to help you. You can feel the anger and hate. But when they get around them, and I just, they're always trying to keep us off our wave. And what I've noticed, especially in this DC area, it's a lot of these, what you call them, lesbian, whatever people. And they try to dress like us. And I know that's not what you're saying, but I just got to make this point. Like, they try to dress like us and act like us. But I noticed something. When they're around us too, they act just like the white people. And I'm like, damn, this shit is a game within a game. So no, in other words, just like on the slave plantation thing, what they've done back in the day and what we've actually forced ourselves to do, because they're choosing to do that. I'm just saying, I don't appreciate it. I'm not going to be putting men and women against each other. And I'm not going to be pushing that agenda. But I'm just saying, like, in 2021 right here, I'm tired of that mental illness shit. I'm tired of y'all forcing this LB. I'm tired of y'all, these angry dyke type. Well, I'm just tired of the shit. It's boring. It's been done before. We're turning a new leaf. It's a new page. And anybody with that sickness, go straight to fucking hell.
Yeah, that's right, man. If you guys haven't subscribed to Westside Kulik, man, do us a favor, man. Subscribe to the brother's channel. He definitely be dropping a bunch of good knowledge over there, man. He has some great interviews as well. I caught the Dr. Randy Short. I caught the American Heiress. Shout out to American Heiress. We're doing American Heiress, I think, next week sometime. I know.
Oh, yeah.
I know we're gonna be on Truth on the 13th. Empress Holbert, I think tomorrow. Yeah, we grinding, man. We're gonna be we moving around. Shout out. Matter of fact, tomorrow we're gonna be on Sister Soul. Shout out to Sister Soul, man.
Okay.
Radio. Shout out to her. Yeah, man. Like I said, we're making these rounds, man. Like, just giving the people the information. Like you said, we and you just chopping up, man. It's like some good fellas, like you said. That just talking, just building on this. So it's not really an interview, you know what I mean? But yeah, just that's what it is, man. It's just like you said, it's just so exhausting to see like that we can actually fix a lot of the issues that we have amongst ourselves. We don't have to step outside ourselves. We don't need a funding for it. You know what I'm saying? We could just direct the energy, the currency in the right directions to the builders, people who are actually building. So we're talking about the only builders. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're going to be launching that today. Talking about the only builders club. You know, like everybody else got clubs and all these other things or whatever. But, you know, it's so crazy. Like they wouldn't even allow me to get the membership based off the content and things that we're saying. So we talk about shadow ban. We talk about all these other things, not sending out why are they doing that to us?
Right.
Why? Why do y'all think this is happening? Why do you think that they're sending gift agents in and doing all these things? Why do you think they do this?
Right.
Like, for some odd reason, like whenever we had the opportunity to go to some of the, like, Sonetters, you talked about him earlier, right?
Sal nigger.
Right. It's the only time he gets porn bombs when we come up there, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, really? Like, come on. You know what I mean? So it's just really interesting. And he blamed us. He's like, oh, you guys let this person on. Like, man, we ain't even send the link out. So that's it could only been you. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
That's the point, though. They would talk about everything else, but instead of who we are. Then they turn around and ask the African tell them. Everybody telling them. Every master teacher they ever brought up there telling them. Professor Chuck and Professor James Smalls. Like, everybody. I don't understand the mind frame behind people who continually pushing this agenda on our people. That doesn't give us any power. Then we had played a clip of a young brother from the continent. He was like laughing. He was like, "Wait a minute! Don't no Africans join your African Pan-African movements, and we don't know anything about this slave trade." I mean, he was just going in talking about we not the same people. And he was a youngster, teenager,
right?
But they all have the same story, bro.
Right.
We're not them. We're gonna play a clip a little later of some sisters from the continent that's basically talking, like, letting them know we're not the same people. They know this. They don't have the same stories. Where do we get the story? Oh, Melvin Hersevich and all these fans of Boaz, and all these other people who are the teachers of all these people. So when we're talking about these, you know, we'll show us an African that brought Pan-Africanism to the forefront. Then they blame Garvey. Like Garvey said, go back to Africa. He never said that. He never called the organization African. He never called nobody black. He said Negro Improvement Association. What
That's
the hell
true.
is going on, bro? Like, I don't understand the mind frame. They just teach us the dumb shit. African American Studies was funded and started by the CIA. Period. To take us away from our shit, socially, politically, economically. Then they turn around and give us drugs. Are y'all serious?
Right.
And wonder why we fell for that.
Right.
Really.
Yeah, I get I'm gonna open up the phone lines, y'all, here. Calling for questions or comments for Supreme Chief here. Y'all need to call in. The number's 512-655-9848. I'm gonna do a podcast on this, and if you want to join it, you know, you're quite welcome to. But I got to do more study on it because I really wanted to do it now, not now, but like by next week. But we're so caught up in the South and East Coast when we talk about our tribes, our clans, or who we are, but we never talk about the West Coast. And earlier you mentioned the so-called black boy and the bones they found in Montana, the state of Montana. Montana is gorgeous, by the way. Okay, you're in Nevada, okay? And if people knew about how powerful it is out there for us and really what's out there, how come and why they don't want us to figure out how to go out there and why they don't want us out there. Can you explain why I don't say why the tension's so just hell bent on something else, but if we knew about what is in the West Coast and why they killed a lot of us out there first before they got to us in the South and East, can you explain that, please?
I mean, I'm trying to think, what time period are you talking about they killed us out here on the West Coast?
So I would say around the 1500s, 15 to 1600s. I'll say that. I'll keep it at that time period.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that's a history. One, they wasn't here like that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so a lot of times when they're telling a story, you know how like they'll talk about slavery, but they're literally talking about the 1900s.
Right.
So this is what I'm saying. Like the European wasn't empowered in the 1500s to go nowhere.
True.
On the planet or nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? But they still tell the story as if they was in China kicking ass, they was in Africa kicking ass, they was over here kicking ass, when in fact, they were slaves. Right? In fact, they didn't have any of these things. They wasn't industrialized, and they didn't get industrialized until after they came to America, and we gave them this technology that they industrialized, and then been able to use that and to go around the world. In the late 1800s going into the 1900s, these people are not that clever and strong to beat us without guns and tanks and all the things that they got from the American culture. You understand what I'm saying? They got engines, they got these things, all these technologies, stuff that they got from America, they used and use it around the world.
Right.
Took it to China. You know what I'm saying? Took it to Japan. So they own Japan. So to make cars in Japan and all this other stuff or whatever, it was you know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? The car technology comes from America. It doesn't come from Germany. It doesn't come from Great Britain.
Right. Got a call coming in right now.
Comes from here, so they take it.
That's right. How you doing, caller? How you doing?
Yes,
blue.
Sister Latoya, how are you guys doing this evening?
Good. How you doing, Latoya? Good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm of course just enjoying the conversation. I'm like, okay, because I know I get your notifications. Sometimes I get your notifications. It's just the music, and I was like, okay, no, he's got a guest on, so I got to come on here and support my brother.
Right.
So, of course, enjoying the conversation and the knowledge. I'm with what the brother is saying about us being indigenous to this land, and it's interesting this comes up because my son is in school and they're learning the Constitution and they're learning and I told him, because he's looking at it as boring, and I was just like, just to let you know, just know that a lot of these things that these so-called founding fathers who are heavy Masonic, we already know they were slave owners. We also know they were pedophiles. Let's be honest. They practice a lot of that stuff. And a lot of these patriots worship them, not knowing that what they're fighting against right now, these forefathers is doing the same thing.
Right.
But I told them that Black people indigenous to America, they took those writings, those forefathers, these so-called American white forefathers or patriots or whatever you want to call them, took that from Black people that was already here, or so-called Black people that was already here. So when I told him that, he looked at it in a different light.
Right. Are you there?
Well, I like to address something that you said, right? Peace, sis. How are you? I like to say that the history that was spoken of was basically just whitewashed. You know what I mean? So,
yep.
The reason why we like to use the word Aboriginal, right? I'm gonna basically it uses like I don't know if you play spades, sis. You play spades. Aboriginal will be the big joker, and indigenous will be the little joker or the ace in this scenario. And Aboriginal is the trump card, and that's the reason why they don't like us using this word. Getting back to that conversation, why it's so negative for us to use this word, and why everybody's feathers is ruffled, and they trying to block us from pushing this word. Well, the definition of American is the Aboriginals that they found when they came here, or copper-colored people. That's us. But that doesn't fit the caste system. So they're going to push indigenous or Indian or Native American because that includes a lot of them people and excludes us, because a lot of us don't see ourselves as natives or indigenous to this land. So the movie, The First American, is basically breaking that down and showing our people with irrefutable evidence who we are and that we've been here. So not to say that indigenous is not our word, I'm saying that other people are included in indigenous who have excluded us from this. So that's why we push Aboriginal so hard, because it's a trump card.
Right. Yeah, no, Latoya, you was talking about also too your boy, what's his name, Talib Kweli. You had a spat with him.
Oh yes. So okay, so for the most part, Brother Dewan B, who's a mutual person I know through Dr. Randy Short, Dewan posted something about where there's excuse me, there was a UN meeting, I think about a week ago or maybe just a few days ago, where they were talking about, it was Secretary Blinken and Joe Biden. It was a UN meeting on reparations and anti-racism. So Joe Biden actually walked out of the meeting, and so I went scorched earth on a couple of these people that was pushing Biden last year around this time and prior. I said, where are these, these VOTEPs, and where are these individuals? I tagged Simone Sanders, I tagged Angela Rye, I tagged several people. I tagged the congressional circus, because they're misleadership. They don't represent us at all. They hate us. And several other people. And I said that it's interesting how they wanted us to get behind this racist. And this is not verbatim, but this is pretty much what I said, because I got upset. I'm just sick of, Kulik, you know how I feel about the Boule. So I'm always going to go scorched earth on them, and until all of them are exposed and they have no power. That's my assignment on this planet. I know it is. And so he jumped in and called me, the blog that I commentate for, as well as Randy and several other so-called Black women, on natural hair Nazis. Now, how the hell is a Black woman the so-called Black woman that puts truth out there about who we really are, how the hell are we Nazis? And I came back and told him that no, you work for a globalist Nazi that pushes poison on the people, whether it's the music or whether it's who's paying you. And then he's also promoting the jab as well. So I called him out on all of that. And then he just went in on Dewan, and Dewan went in on him, and he couldn't take it. And my question to somebody like him is, you see what's happening with this boy right now. His name escapes me. Dave Chappelle.
Oh.
He hasn't opened his mouth out about supporting Dave Chappelle. It's always the independent so-called Black people. We're always to somebody's rescue. He's supposed to be his friend and partied with him, I think, on his birthday, but he hasn't opened his mouth up to defend his own friend with what's going on with him and Netflix.
Facts.
He has not opened his mouth. So hopefully a lot of these celebrities will speak.
He identifies you as a Nazi because he works for the Jew.
Yeah.
Who's always going to say anybody, like perfect example, right? Anybody that was against Biden, they just automatically think that we for Trump. No. We're against the Democratic Party. And I like how you call them the Black Clown group, not the caucus group. They clowns. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not going for no power ever. I've never even seen them do anything that was powerful ever, do anything for our people ever. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the Black caucus. See, they don't even say it's a white caucus. Just the whole caucus is their shit. You have a special caucus that don't do nothing, don't get nothing or whatever. So Talib Kweli, literally, he was just on shot to Lord Jamar. He was just on Lord Jamar's channel talking about he took the jab. He didn't have to tell us your business. And then he went out his way to say he took the Pfizer one, right? Now here's what Dave Chappelle did. And his genius, shout out to Dave Chappelle, right? He's a genius. He's a dude to sell out. Dave Chappelle's a genius, right? So Dave Chappelle talked about getting the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Why did he talk about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine? He said he wants the one that the poor people get. Okay? Why is that? See, old boy made a fact to talk about it. He didn't get the poor people shot. He got the Pfizer one. You understand what I'm saying? That's the difference right there. That's the difference. Mike Tyson talked about the site. He said he was forced to do it. He wasn't promoting it. He said he was forced to do it. He wasn't promoting it like, hey, y'all should go get the shot. And that's how Talib and these guys who are literally paid by these people, and they show you what they're about through their tweets, through what they post. It's supposed to be something that's personal to you, but they know that these people are monitoring everything that they do, and they know that they'll lose a paycheck or opportunities if he supports Dave Chappelle open, and that's a sucker to me. All of them suckers.
Yes, he is, and I'm glad I was able to expose them. I told him, look, we all know you're in the Boule. I even tagged the Boule organization. I said, you're exposed. Just come out of the closet. You're in the Boule. You're not here to help anybody so-called Black in the Americas. And it's alleged that Talib Kweli may actually be he might have some Caribbean roots, maybe Jamaican, because he was born and raised in Brooklyn. So one of those parents, I think, is from Jamaica.
He is, yeah, he's Caribbean.
See, there we go.
But that's
another Caribbean, right? Another Caribbean and African.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that might be something that we might not necessarily disagree on, but I have a different take on the Caribbean islands. Okay, we had a guy on the other day that was Jamaican. I mean, it was Haitian and Dominican. Right? And he still knew he understood the difference between a Haitian and a Dominican, but he still was born. His mother and his father was either one or the other, and they still liked each other enough to have a baby and have him, right? The point I'm trying to make is that these same people, they're on the same island, but they have two different colonizers, okay? One is Spanish, one is French. We just have a Dutch colonizer, okay? AKA British, AKA Germans, Deutschland. German.
Right.
So we look at each other and we have the same disdain as if we were Haitians and Dominicans on the same island, who would be the same Caribs or the same Arawaks. Y'all get the point I'm trying to make? That the islands are the conjoining islands of the Americas. So those are islands, they just been colonized by different people, which would give them a different understanding of us. You know what I'm saying? People in Florida are closer to the Caribbean islands than the people in California. So these are our islands. So when we say that, we're participating in the same colonial caste system, so to speak. You know what I'm saying, sis? So when we say that he's on the island, we like he's African.
I don't have any issues with people, and we've had this discussion before on Kulik's show, you know, with the differences. So I'm one of those people. I don't have an issue with that, but I do notice that a lot of the people that come here and they're not definitely friends of mine, but because the ones that are from other countries or from the Caribbean, they have like more of like a Garvey mindset. They understand that there's differences, but they also respect that. Okay, this is Latoya's family is from here. We have different experiences. I'm talking about the ones that come over here, like the Talibs, that just totally disrespect Black American culture. But you want to cling on to it when it's convenient for you.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree. You know, all I'm saying is because a lot of them people get stolen from the main island, if you will, as the Hawaiian would say, in modern times. But all I'm saying is, like, a lot of these people have a mindset that it's a jealous mindset. It's a jealous mindset. My thing is, if you can't build where you're from, and do better and fix your own shit, and you come in my house and tell me what I'm doing wrong, or I should clean my walls or whatever, and I go to where your house is and it's worse, 20 times worse than mine, that's a mental illness too. That's all I'm saying. You know, yeah, we can, you know, but I just, and let's be real. Like Dr. Phil Valentine, he's from Trinidad.
Yeah.
One of the most sharpest, coolest, empowered people ever. But he was born in a certain time. These modern islanders or Caribbeans, you want to say, I'm not saying all of them ain't shit, but a lot of them just they're on a different frequency, and I'm not fucking with it. I'm not fucking with it. And they can stay down there and fix their shit.
Me too. Yeah. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I don't have the time or the patience at this point in my life to deal with it at all.
Yeah, it's some cool ones, you know, but you know, in recent times now, a lot of them they're here to be a lapdog and a pet for the Nazi Zionists and to get rid of us and replace us. That's why they're coming over here. That's it.
Well, we know that the Caribbean people in the Caribbean islands have a strong caste system as well.
Yes.
To the point where they have an epidemic in bleaching. Like we're not that bad. We don't have an epidemic in bleaching like that over here, but they do.
Right.
So you would have to understand the mind frame of the ones that are coming over here with that. You see what I'm saying? They have the same mind frame as every other person who comes to the Americas. They coming over here to survive and take your shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. Then we the ones they're competing against. So they're working with the pale skins. They're working with the Arabs. They're working with the Asians. They're working on all these different people against us. And that's the problem. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Irritated Genie. He did a lecture called Death by Integration. If you haven't seen it, might not be able to find it. They've been banned him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that it really breaks down the history of immigration. You know what I'm saying? Because slavery is like Kanye said, it's a choice.
Right.
They created slaves from us.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? By abolishing. See, they talk about abolitionists, right? Abolitionists were think about it from my perspective as a person in the South that lost millions of acres and we lost shit in the South. We basing that off of abolitionists. Abolitionists were working with niggas against us down here to take abolishing our way of life, which was agriculture, which was land.
Right.
Okay. So we were the founding fathers here in America. They just whitewashed George Washington. You don't know those pale people named Washington or Jefferson or Jackson, right? So it's easy for these people to just okay. Well, they wrote the book. And here's a picture of this guy right here, and we want to oppress you by doing that, right? I'll give you guys this. It's the second president of Mexico. That's interesting. They say he's the second president of Mexico. They call him El Negro. His name is Guerrero, Vincent Guerrero, right? Right. You go back and watch. You go right now in the courthouses or whatever in Mexico. He's a pale skin. I swear to God, he looks just like Andrew Jackson.
Right.
Same hair sticking up and everything. At the bottom of the picture, it says El Negro. It's like, what the fuck? So then you go back and you see some older pics of him, right?
Right.
Now he's a mulatto with curly hair. You go back and you see some still El Negro under there. You go back and you see some older pics, and he's dark. And you say, well, wait a minute. They literally talk about them redoing the world like this. This is what the Rothschilds and the Carnegies, and these are the people that they were literally going around the world whitewashing everything.
Right.
Rome, Greeks, Britain, everybody, they saw whitewashing everything, but they definitely whitewashed America. So that's the thing we got to be. When I say whitewash, I mean just blotted out, bleached out everything.
That's right.
And that's what they did. So we got to be careful in that. We're giving these people too much power. They were not here in the 1600s, 1700s. They did not fight these wars. We did not get beat in no wars. We beat each other. Okay? The North was fighting against the South. The East against the West. They just like anything else right now, they benefit from our sectarial wars. They benefit from our internal beef. You know what I'm saying?
That's
and
right.
they exploit it. So that's what they're doing. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Want to add that to that.
Yeah, you're right. Latoya, do you have anything else you want to add? Latoya, you still there? Yep. You have anything else?
Oh, yep. Sorry about that. I think I had clicked your YouTube and the phone at the same time. No, like I said, I'm enjoying the conversation, and always good to hear, perspectives that's on the same frequency. So, nothing from me. I'm just listening.
Okay, and Latoya, much respect, for the support. We will be doing that interview and document on this location we're in right now, because the history. You've been here for a minute, and we'll be getting into that politic thing too, because you'll be annihilating that.
Yes, because there's some interesting stuff going on here in Fairfax County. They're really pushing this pedophilia stuff. Because I grew up in a Fairfax County school, so to see them really try to do what they're doing in California here is actually disgusting.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. Well, yeah, Latoya.
So it's now, so the system is now racist, but it's racist and pedophilic.
Right. Right.
Awful.
Yeah, it is awful. Well, Latoya, thank you for calling in, and thank you for support and all that, and we'll do that soon.
All right, sounds good. You take care. Nice talking with you, brother.
All right, much respect. Peace out. All right, y'all. Anybody else want to call in before we close the show out here? Again, we got guests in the building right now. Supreme Chief. Y'all need to call in, listen. If you're just tuning in, rewind. Also, let me put his channel back up so y'all can see it. Hold on, give me 1 second here, because this has been a great podcast here. I just want to put your channel up one more time so people can see it, where to find you, where to follow, and give you a shout out. Matter of fact, let's see. Here it is. Where is it at? Let's see. Share screen. Okay. Boom. Bam. All right. So here's the channel right here, y'all. Right here. Supreme Chief Holiday. Subscribe, like, follow, support. He's talking about the documentary he's going to be putting out and all this kind of stuff. So y'all need to follow it, listen to it. And again, he's talking about the real shit. He's not sitting there talking about no dumbass Dismal Swamp and Black Seminole and African Indian and dark Indian and whatever the fuck these idiots are saying. He's talking about, and just like you said, he said the Trump card. He's talking about the Aboriginal experience, the Aboriginal bloodline and genealogy to start. Who are the first Americans? He's been asking this whole podcast. Who are the first Americans? So y'all need to check out the movie. Y'all need to check out his channel and follow and support. He's got some great videos and great information. He knows his shit. Last question. Because I've been holding you up here for 2 hours here, and plus I know you and I are gonna be watching that fight later also. But can we talk about the reason why white people, or so-called white people, been talking about Africa so much is because they are actually African. And what I'm saying is, we got to keep things simple and stupid. If you look at the story and talk about the out of Africa thing and the monkey man, Homo erectus and Homo sapien and all this kind of shit, they're actually telling their story, who they are, where they come from. So this African story, they've been telling us the whole time, it's been right in our face. It's actually the so-called white people's story and where they come from. And this is controversial, what I said too. This is just my opinion, Chief, right here. Now, this is controversial. African people and white people are pretty much the same thing. They're just different people on the melanin scale. One is, if you will, a darker hue. One is a lighter hue. So the white person came up out of African. Now the African is the child to the white person that they birthed. But what I'm saying, to get back, what I'm saying is, white people come from Africa, and they've been telling us their story. It's been right in front of our face. How do you feel about that? Chief, you there? I don't know if I got you online here.
Oh, my bad. I was talking to I don't know if you're familiar with the Yakubs.
The big head scientist. The big head scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I just think, I just know just from my research, what I'm saying, these are Johnny come latelys, and that they're just writing themselves in the time period that didn't exist. I know that. I do know that the Africans, The reason why they're allowing this to happen is because they teach that these people originally come from there. I don't know if you heard of the tribe of Dan.
Yes.
This is the reason why I allow them to do some of the stuff they're doing, because they have food in the belief that they're one of the original tribes there. So there's a lot of validity in what you're saying, especially when we talk about the Afrikaners and all these other things. You know what I mean? A lot of that stuff is just Johnny come lately. I like to say, man, I don't know where the hell these people come from. I know people. We researched it. I can come up with a bunch of hypotheses and guesses and stuff like that under earth. Like I said, I know about the big head scientists. I understand that that's the story in the Bible where Jacob, right? Jacob was separating and turning the goats and the sheep white. He was grafting them out, right? I call it the Blake Griffin effect. Like, me and you can create some pale people,
right,
in our own blood, brother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And could see it in our own lifetime. But we can also basically sit back, and I call it, like I said, the Blake Griffin effect. No disrespect to him, right? But Blake Griffin is a mulatto, is a mestizo, right? Who chose to degenerate,
right?
As opposed to go up. He chose to go down,
right?
But because he feels in his mind that it's the opposite, right? So they flipped everything upside down,
right?
So they made recessive and weak, right? The desire, as opposed to strong and dominant being the foundation. You know what I'm saying? They just flipped it around with the caste system to buy word spells and buy marketing, and you know what I'm saying? Like the people in Australia, they don't like Aborigines, right? Because they have done things like whites and Aborigine only. You see what I'm saying? Whites only and Aborigine. So they made the word Aborigine negative to them. They like to be called black fellas. And the ones that we see would be the mixed ones. See what I'm saying? So they only want to push the mestizo, and they only want to push a light skin supremacy, which goes along with the religion, goes along with the school system, goes along with everything, all the other institutions that they're funding, that they're pushing on us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my answer to that, bro. I don't really worry about them. They need to worry about the sun. You dig? Like, we need to be worried about building. And when I walk outside, I'm not worried about them doing nothing to me. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Right? And a lot of us are worried about us doing something to us. I'm worried about us not supporting each other, us not building. That'll solve that problem, the pill problem.
True.
You know how they got the Negro problem. Well, we got the invader problem going on right now. The pill problem that we need to handle. But we got to take care of each other first. So that's my answer to that, man. I don't worry about them like that. They're not that important to me. Keep it real. We know enough of them. You know what I'm talking about? Facts. So that's my answer to that, bro.
Damn, that's facts right there. Yeah, that's real facts. Yeah, it's just people don't, well, I'm not worried. I used to get these emails when I would say that. I remember this one dude email me this like 5-page thing on that shit, and I'm like, look, man, I mean, shit. I see a lot of similarities between the two, African and Europeans. And again, the African has always been a pet to the European. But it is what it is. And I'm not gonna get that. I'm gonna say that. But Chief, it's been very good. This has been a very good podcast. I want to thank you for coming on here. And is there anything else you want to add? Any other links I want to put out here about the movie and such things like that?
Yeah, man. Like I said, y'all tap into the First American trailer. Once you get it, please share it as much as you can on all your social media, your family. You know what I'm saying? Like, the goal is to make this movie and this movie series like how they made Roots for us. How we look at the Karate Kid and all these other movies and these other movie franchises that we have supported that did not support us. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the problem that I have with everything that we do. And we can talk about sports. We can talk about all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? all the American culture that we gave, not only to America, but gave to the rest of the world. And other people are just taking it over. That's the problem I have. So knowing who you are, knowing who your ancestors are, and tapping in to this land is everything. Is the only thing that we should be talking about right now. Not Nas X, not Polite, not R. Kelly, not what the white man is going to do, but what we're going to build. And we need peace. So we say peace and prosperity, man. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't subscribed to I Don't Give a Fuck Sports News and Entertainment Channel, please do, man. We got a lot of stuff coming on. Like I said, only builders tonight, y'all. It's going down, y'all. So be on the lookout for that. And we're gonna be reporting live on the fight tonight as well, man. So like I said, this is a great interview. I thank you once again for having me, brother. I appreciate it. You guys see the schedule. We're gonna be on Sister Soul Main tomorrow. So check that out. I think that's 6 tomorrow. So you guys tap into that. So we're gonna do the same thing tomorrow for the channel, man. So like I said, bro, thank you, man. I don't really have too many more questions, man. Like I said, I love the work that you're doing as well. Like I said, y'all, if you guys haven't didn't know about this guy right here, now you know. West Side Kulik, another, another, like, what did he say? Like another, like Voltron coming together. Like, you
Right.
got another powerful entity, another brother, another guy, you know what I'm saying, in the community, y'all. So, like I said, we definitely welcome this brother in the community. Like I said, we love the work that you're doing, brother. So, like I said, keep up the great work you're doing yourself. And we appreciate it. So I can say that.
Much respect, and I'll give a shout out to Tasco too for hooking this up, because when I saw the email come through and you wanted to get on here, I was like, hell yeah, let's go. And
Right.
it's that easy to put. Last thing, we should have been taking over this media thing. We should have been taking. I mean, we should be able to say what we want to do or whatever it is, but we are the life force of this, not Africans, not them. I'm talking about us, Aboriginals here in this country. We are the life force of this social media, this news, whatever it is. Without us on this platform, this ain't nothing. So why don't we own this motherfucker? Why don't we own it? We talk about taxes. We talked about this and ownership, how we don't own shit. But we should definitely own this media shit. As much as they use us on this platform, shit.
I mean, once again, bro, you see these people see more value in their platforms.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And more value in Black. Once again, shout out to Lord Jamar again. When they called, look, him and Godfrey were benefiting from being on Black TV.
Right.
Benefiting. Right. And I'm sure that they had heard stuff before, stuff that, they could say stuff to Vlad behind the scenes or whatever that we might not say, whatever. But for the most part, when they called for the boycott, everybody should have been like, you know what? We good.
Right.
Everybody.
Right.
He should be doing Yiddish fucking interviews right now.
Right.
Should not be able to see Boozy over there, Michael J. White, Charleston White, any white, nobody, no nigga. We all supposed to stay on code. And I think we got to start enforcing the codes. That's the problem. Niggas just be off code too much.
Right.
We just got to spank you and get back on code. That's all.
Right.
So that's why I believe. I don't believe in all this kumbaya. Oh, we got to do this. No, sometimes niggas just need to be forced to do stuff. You know what I'm saying? We got beat in this position. We might have to beat them out the position. So that's my word. That's how I feel about it, man. Like, niggas y'all ain't shit, bro. Like, seriously, not y'all. Y'all know what I'm talking about. These guys, man, it's too much. They're going out their way to be enemies of the people.
Yeah.
Of the ancestors.
Yeah.
And we get it enough from everybody else. We shouldn't get it from our own people.
Right.
Especially when we're not saying nothing that's hurting them. We're not taking anything from nobody. We're adding to your story. Your story is cool too. Matter of fact, it's people that always tell us all the time, well, we found people that own my people. Well, you're not finding people that own your people. If you look up the word family right now, or you can go to our channels and see some of these interviews, see some of the stuff. We break down this word family. You look up the etymology, the definition of a family. it literally means servant. It literally means slave.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're looking at your family records, you have that man's name not because he owns your family. These are our names. The Europeans took over our names, took over our land.
Ooh.
These are our names. They're not bringing these names here.
Ooh.
I'm a Johnson. They didn't bring Johnson here.
Damn.
You understand?
Damn.
So 100 years ago, a man, and shit, even in some states right now, a man could whoop his wife. Let me say this again, so y'all can hear me. 100 years ago, a man could whoop his wife's ass if he didn't like something that she didn't do.
Right.
Hey, baby, you burnt his cornbread today. Come here, with the belt. You hear me?
Right.
He was the master of his house. Okay.
Right.
Your wife, your children, or your property.
Right.
That's slavery.
Right.
That's emancipation, being emancipated from that. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So they play with the trickery, the word spells. They playing with the words. You know what I'm saying? So when we had to sign into their things, you're like, okay, well, this is John. Well, these are John's children, John's son. Has nothing to do with Europeans coming over here and naming us after them and all this other stuff. But they tell us that story to explain slavery and explain away your power, disconnect you from your ancestors, disconnect you from your name. Oh, I don't want to be a Johnson no more. I don't want to be a Jackson no more. I want to be Umfute.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You don't get no energy from Umfute. The vibrational pitch ain't even yours. Umfute.
Right.
I don't want to clown, man. I'm trying to keep it cool, man. You know what I'm saying? Drop the information, man. But I really want to turn up, man. For real, bro. Just keep it real, man. So just want to let y'all know that, man. I want to say peace to everybody. I definitely appreciate you, Cooley, for having me. And everybody, your listeners, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Tap in with us.
Yeah. We'll do this, again, and then we'll link up more and more of us will, do what we got to do, because this media thing is easy. I mean, we should, our message, we are the celebrity. It ain't no damn Drake. It ain't no damn, who else? Like, who else? Future, whatever y'all like, Kardashian, whatever. We are the celebrities. Until we realize that, we gonna be all right. We are the stars. They are the star wannabes. That's why when they up in the motherfucking air, that's why they drop out quick. But our light burns on forever and ever and ever and ever. But we don't want to take on the role. And the role is being at home, sitting in your throne. We are the autochthon aborigines or aboriginals of this country. That's it. We are not of African descent. We're not black. We have different genome phenotypes than Africans too, not due to any European mixture. So anybody else saying otherwise, you are with the Nazi Zionist narrative and movement, and you are compromised. Chief, I want to thank you again for joining and being on here. This has been great. This has been wonderful. And
you too, brother. It's an open door policy over there over on our platforms as well, brother. We would definitely be sharing a lot of more of your stuff. Like I said, I love your content, brother.
Yes, and much respect. And hey, have a good weekend. Enjoy the fight. I'm getting ready for this fight too. And Wilder, I got Wilder. And we'll see what our boy's gonna do.
That's right. We're gonna be reporting on it tonight, y'all. So
okay, on your channel.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so y'all, I'm gonna be joining in too, looking at your channel also. Y'all want to not have the fight, but watch the fight and see what Chief's doing on there with that. Y'all go ahead and do that. But again, thanks again, much respect, and peace on out, y'all.
All right, y'all. Peace. That was the brother Westside Kulik, man. Shout out to the brother Westside Kulik, man. Peace to everybody, man. Tapped in, man. I want to say thank you guys tapping in, man, to this information. We're gonna put the link in the chat room, y'all. Get it in a little bit. See what y'all think about this interview with the brother FuryVS.Wilder. So appreciate everybody tapping in, man. I'll put this in the chat room real fast.
स्नातक की उपाधि ली थी। उसके बाद 21 वर्षों तक नागपुर पीठ में सेवाएं दी हैं। अनेकों ऐतिहासिक जो फैसले हुए हैं उनके गवाह रहे हैं, उनके साक्षी रहे हैं। उनमें
I see Jim Jones in the building.
जस्टिस
Empress Awaken is in the building. Wilmore Reed, Big Dog Philly,
पदभार ग्रहण करेंगे। जस्टिस गोगोई जो कि निवर्तमान मुख्य न्यायाधीश हैं, आज यहाँ दरबार हॉल में उपस्थित हैं। भारत के पहले मुख्य न्यायाधीश थे
Rain Alexander, Mama Bear, J.R. Niji, Muffy Duffy, Big Chattahoochee Chief John Doe, Truth Master. These names, man. What else we got here? Willie Lilly, J Rock. Mike Prentice, Godric, Joe Jackson. Make sure I get everybody. Woke Sister, Sister Soul Main Radio's in the building. Sugar Sweeter. I want to say peace to the guys, man. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. We definitely appreciate y'all. I see IMU in the building. Charles Clark. That True Shoe. King Hercules. Make sure I get everybody, man. I don't miss nobody. You already know, man. I want to say shout out to the CEO, Cash Code, the CEO, holding it down, man. You already know, hooked up that interview with the brother, FuryVS.Wilder, man. So peace to the CEO. Y'all see on the screen right there. So peace to everybody tapped in, man. We definitely appreciate y'all. Seeing Gretchen Helm in there earlier. Shout out to Miss Gretchen Helm. Holding it down. Original One is in the building. Cersei. I want to say peace to everybody, man. If you guys want to come in. Bronze Flat Power Kings in the building. 1315 Mo. Peace to the guys, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Tapped in, man. If y'all haven't tapped in, man, subscribe to I Don't Give a Fuck Sports News Entertainment. Please do. Hey, y'all see the put this in again. We pushing the Only Builders Club over here right now, y'all. We're gonna talk about that a little bit in a minute. We're talking about the Only Builders, y'all. What's it about? What we doing? We're talking about we're already building over here, right? So creating a club for people, a group, you know what I'm saying, specifically to build. So we're talking about builders, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about mound builders. We're talking about civilization givers to the world, you know what I'm saying? We are the descendants of them and we should be building. So that's the thing, and that's what this is about. The Only Builders Club is about building. So we'll talk about that tonight, y'all. Builders. Make sure I got everybody. Yeah. So we got some information too. We're gonna get into this Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder fight tonight as well, y'all. Got a little information we're gonna drop too, along with this Only Builders Club, y'all. So tap in. Want more information on Only Builders. What's up? screen. 1 second, child. Hit the like button. I'll put this on here real fast. Put the schedule on here. Read this out, yeah. So I know, like I said, we got Sister Soul tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, y'all. Check that out. Then we got Copper Empress Holbert on Monday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and American Heiress on the 15th. Matter of fact, we got Truth Searcher 111 on the 13th. We're going to add that to that. Truth Search on the 13th. I don't have a time for that right now. So be on the lookout for that. So Truth Searcher 111 on the 13th. Then we got American Heiress on the 15th at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So that's going to be a little later Eastern time, y'all. Next Friday. Like I said, we building over here, man. So y'all want to interested in booking, hit me up at chiefholiday@gmail.com. I know we got a booking. I don't give a fuck booking, something at gmail.com. Just hit me up, chiefholiday@gmail.com. Or any other emails that you guys see that we put in, they all come to us. So we definitely appreciate it. Let me put this link in there one more time, y'all. We're probably gonna shut down and come back a little later, y'all. About to put this link in here. See Kemet TV in there. Kemet TV. I think you can need a big bottle of Heinz 57, brother. You need to catch the fuck up. USA, where Aboriginal reside, comparable in Central and South America, where Africans built stone structures, some ancient Kemet built by Africans. I ain't gonna even answer that question, bro. I at this point, bro, like I just don't think that you understand. If you don't understand or know that they took the stones off these things that they're calling mounds, then that's something that you just don't know, that's what they did here in North America, which is a little bit more developed than every place else. They actually tore the stuff down or took the stones, like in Cahokia, and used those stones to build the St. Louis Cathedral, brother. So you have to do a little bit more, as well as UNESCO building up what you're calling Kemet, brother, which is not, the word Kemet is not indigenous to the continent of so-called Africa, man. So, bro, just like you need to catch up with the information, man. Like, are they paying you to try to divert the energy, bro? Because we're gonna use you to teach, bro. The people that might be a little slow like yourself. Y'all need to catch up, man. Y'all in the slow short bus lane, bro. Come on, bro, catch up. Coach is in the building. Peace, Coach Joey is in the building. Peace, Coach. Redskin. Appreciate you, Redskin. Yeah, man, y'all tuned into the grace of all motherfucking time, man. We're gonna keep putting this work in, y'all. Let's put this I wanted to talk about this joint we seen with what's his name? We probably have to come back. If you guys aren't coming on right now, we'll come back a little later. We got some information we're gonna drop a little later, y'all. So I want to say appreciate everybody, man. If you guys haven't supported the real, man, I'm gonna put this in here. Support the real, man. Builders only. We'll come back and we'll come back. Support the real. Only builders, man. Push that. Hold on 1 second, y'all. See, Curtis is in the building. Peace, Curtis. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. We definitely appreciate it. We're gonna keep dropping this heat over here, man. See Gretchen in the building. If you guys haven't checked out the trailer, please do, man. The trailer's in the link in the chat room. Take that, man. Share it. Like I said, share that as much as you can, man. We definitely appreciate it. Share it every day. Share it again. Share it with all your family members or whatever. Like I said, those visuals tell the tale. And like I said, we got more stuff coming, man. So be on the lookout for that. All right, y'all. Pardon about it, man. I'm back. We back in the building, man. We about to get up out of here, man. We gonna put a little music on, man. It's Trey Ali up in here, y'all. We'll get up here. Like I said, we're gonna come back a little later. Report on this fight. See what's going on out here in these YouTube streets. These streets in Las Vegas. It's the Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder trilogy. It's gonna be the third fight, man. So y'all send a bunch of energy to the god, the bronze bomber, Deontay Wilder. Like I said, he definitely got a lot to prove. He got a lot going on, man. A lot to lots riding on this, man. Like I said, so yeah, man. Let's get to it. Say peace to the guys, man. Peace to everybody, man. Support the real. Y'all know what it is, man. Only Builders. We in the building. We're gonna be dropping the Only Builders tonight too, y'all. So be on the lookout for that. We're gonna go over that. If you email us, we'll send you the details of it right now. So that's just turn around, man. Yeah. We got no sound right now.
No peace! No peace! No peace! No peace!
Yeah, we got no sound right now.
Swear we gon' die every day. They say Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came. We been here, lived here, open borders, got deported, fought for rights. Kidnapped, bitch slapped, blacked out, covered up, washed white. Drugged up, slugged up, beat bread, left for dead, fuck your life. It's all a plan, kill your man, take your land, slave your kids, rape your wife. Why y'all look so mad if all this shit I say is true? Why y'all look so mad if all this shit happen to you? White man quick to tell you was a slave, nothing before. But he himself only been free since 1840. On recording, I'm an ancient Egyptian from Atlantis, headed straight for Canada, that's Israel. Nothing fake about me, no capping, rapping. I just fed the ink and I'm digital. No caveman, I'm original. Kentucky fried, extra crispy. Wear a lot of gold, cause my family history. I'm the guy to know, I bring death to history. Swear we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came. Swear we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came. Power, only respect power. Respect power. What's been said can't be said no louder. Stand for something, or you die a coward. They bombed our churches, set our kids on fire. Police keep erasing cause they backed up by the nation. Nation ain't complaining cause them Indians still hanging. Comanche, Sioux, Apache, ain't no history in blackness. No reason for that chatting if you bitch up when it's action. AR on my body, tell the bro to grab the shot and loading up that new edition. Finna hit him with this bobby. I can't shoot the shit, but 30 shouldn't miss. 54 races, 104 is click. Anytime in prison, they don't want the shit. They don't want the problems. Snitches get the stick. Talking all that hatred, end up running like a bitch. Quick to call the laws, quick to play the bitch. Swear we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came. Swear we gon' die every day. They said Jesus gon' save us. Well, I know we die if we wait. I know we die if he can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we came.
What's that dance you doing, Trey? Shout out to the infamous Trey Ali. That's Turtle Island, y'all. Like I said, I want to say once again, man, peace, 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 and thank you for tuning in tonight, man. Y'all could be anywhere else in the world, but y'all here, man. We're gonna come back later, man. I don't give a fuck. Sports, news, entertainment. We're gonna be reporting live on the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury fight, y'all. A few other things. We got a few things to talk about as far as entertainment, sports, and Only Builders Club, man. Y'all tap in, man. Only Builders Club is in the building, y'all. So check us out, man. Only Builders Club, man. So tap in, Only Builders. We appreciate everybody. Like I said, man, love on who love you, man. Support the real. We'll catch you guys a little later tonight. Say peace out.